What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the stream. I'm Brea Thorne. How you doing? Yeah, we're here. We're ready. We're going. I'm a little bit late. Sorry about that. That's about right. But, yeah. What's up, everybody? Hope y'all have had a nice Thursday. Hope your streams, hope your weeks are going well. Oh, yeah, all of you stream, right? Everybody? Isn't everybody a streamer? I think. Isn't that how that works? I really need to get back to scheduling my YouTube stream because, okay, so YouTube doesn't do a thing. I mean, it's not as good about putting out a big notification to everybody like, hey, so-and-so is live. It's more like you need to put up your stream on YouTube way earlier so that people see it, I guess. And then wait, it's weird. It's YouTube. Why do you do it like that? I don't know. But I need to get back to putting them up like earlier, a couple hours before the stream, something like that. But let's say hi to everybody. What's up, Skeeter Gaming? Actually beating out Lone Vaquero for first. Lone Vaquero nowhere to be found. Interesting. What's up, Skeeter Gaming? How's it going? Rutu, what's going on? Super T30, how you doing? Welcome. And JJLA3, good evening to you as well. Steve over in YouTube land, how are you? Alice, welcome as well. Don't cross the streams. No, don't be sorry about that. Beginning to learn wheelies. When I was riding home today, a bunch of little kids in the truck in front of me mentioned to do a wheelie. So I gave my best shot and got that front wheel 2 feet in the air for them. I'm proud of myself. Please be careful, Skeeter. Please be careful, because they're dangerous. Wheelies are very dangerous. But hey, you know, Deck Blacksmith, welcome to the stream. How's it going, bud? Yeah. So here we are on the raggedy edge. Hi. I like how Super T30. I like how you just put "go" out of the "Let's Go Nerds" emotes. You just chose the word "go." Who are you matchmaking today? No idea. We'll find out. Actually, I need to get my screens ready for that. Go. So you guys might have noticed a little something in my behavior recently. I've been like less keen to roast people when they get the form wrong, when they ignore stuff on the form. And I just realized that like my whole thing is being welcoming to people who are new to this stuff, and you can I often have to remind myself to sort of put myself in those shoes. I've been into computers since I was 6 years old, okay? That is a depressingly long time ago. But I've been into computers for a very long time, surrounded myself with friends who were into PCs. Well, wherever I could. And it's very comfortable for me. For those who are coming here, though, they may be uncomfortable with it, but excited about it. I want to reduce the former and encourage the latter. I don't want them to be uncomfortable. I want them to be more excited about it. And if the person who's like the supposed to be one of the more welcoming tech YouTubers out there. A lot of them are. To be clear. But I make it my job to be. Like, I make my content focused around that. Okay. To have that person like rant at you for 5 minutes over a budget thing, I started rethinking it and being like, you know what? It's fun for like everybody else, and not for some people. They're cool with it and they laugh about it, but some people are like, hey, okay, I'm sorry, okay, damn. And what is it called when you're talking down to somebody and it's fun for everybody who's in the know, but not fun for the person who made the mistake? That's gatekeeping. So I've been really thinking about it, and like, I just need to be more chill. I thought it was funny for a long time. I was like, you know what? I'm going to take where I get frustrated and I'm going to make it funny. And I think that that's a healthy thing to do for oneself, but not at the cost of other people and their comfort and their sort of like feelings of whether they're welcome or not to it. So, you know, I feel like I feel like that was maybe in some circumstances it was fantastic. It was great. It was hilarious because the person would seem to be in on it. But wherever they're not, you know, I don't want that. I don't want to be negative. I don't want negativity for those who are just who get that elsewhere. You're not supposed to get that here. You're not supposed to get negativity, and this is an inclusive thing. Everybody, every single person of any, you know, of any belief, whether it's self, you know, internal or external beliefs, things like that, you know, what they, any person of any walk of life should feel welcome here. Anyone of any experience level is welcome here. And I felt that, but I don't know if I was acting that way. So I'm going to try to do a little better there. To be clear, that disclaimer is still staying in the form. But, you know, I'm just going to be more chill about it. Tech Blacksmith, laid back Bray. Yeah, every now and then I try to be. When I was a lot younger, I popped a wheelie, as they say, and watched the front wheel fall off my bicycle and roll down off the street as I clutched the handlebars. Steve, I don't imagine that ended very well. But I don't think that Skeeter was talking about a bicycle. A little more dangerous that way. It's hard because people don't read very much of what is in front of them, and this is to encourage that. The main thing that I will do though is I can just be really clear about like, hey, let me know the budget. Like, this is the max budget. That's it. And the form is going to get still a general snapshot. Most people are off by one tick from where they should be. If they're off, they're off by one tick from where they should be in the budget lineup. So it's not a huge deal. How much was that capture card you showed the other day? It was like $250. A good quality HDMI 2.1 capture card that can capture 4K 60 or whatever and push through 4K 144 hertz with variable refresh rate is expensive, and they are going to be expensive for a while. I apologize for the other day. I figured out that I was watching the stream about 5 minutes behind. Oh, that's okay. That happens to people, particularly on YouTube. Hi, I'm a PC gamer. Hi, Rurutu. The hi, I'm dad joke doesn't work when your actual name is right there. But yeah. Sailor, what's going on? Welcome. How are you? Anyway, I didn't mean to bring down the beginning of the stream. I'm a big fan of self-reflection and something actually coming from that. So I am going to try to be a little bit more chill. I'm going to keep my rants I'm going to try to keep my rants primarily for big corporations, big companies that are screwing over consumers. I think that's where my ire is best directed. Not at the people who are here to chill out, find an inclusive and welcoming community. I don't want to turn that on its head and have people regret coming here. Good Lord, that's a bad idea. I don't want to do that. That doesn't make me happy. And I stream because streaming does, in many ways, make me very happy. So, yeah, I'm not going to do against that. I was the guy that almost made you leave the stream early. Oh, that's okay. I don't actually do that, JJLA. I don't actually want the ending stream thing is a joke usually. But no, you're good. Hi everyone, I built myself a $3,000 PC to play Minecraft. That's a joke, but that's all I've been playing lately. Peter, if you're enjoying yourself, that is all that matters. Said it many times. Doesn't matter what the game is. And besides, you can do all kinds of shaders and stuff with all that, and it's even cooler that way. You can make Minecraft a very high-end game if you want to. What's up, humanity? How's it going? When I was young, I did a crazy bicycle run down a mountain in Puerto Rico. The bike got to 50 miles an hour. Wow. Alucard, welcome. How's it going? Braxton, what's up? Alucard, you missed my thing where I was talking about how I'm going to try not to roast people much, if at all, anymore on stream. I don't want anyone to feel unwelcome just because they made a mistake on a stupid forum. This is supposed to be the inclusive place, the place where everyone feels welcome. And I've after reflecting on that for a bit, I don't know. It's as I mentioned earlier, if you're talking down to somebody and everybody else is in on the joke, but except for them, that's kind of bullying, kind of thing, Some people are into it, and that's great. That's fun when people are in on the joke and down for it. Like, all right, here comes the roast. I deserve it. That's cool. And I'll do it then. But if y'all might have, y'all might have noticed that my heart hasn't been in it lately because I've just been sort of like, am I acting the way I say that I'm going to act when it comes to new people and welcoming them and making sure that they feel comfortable here rather than feeling gatekept. So, and it's not a huge deal. We're still going to have fun. And I'm still going to rant about stuff. But as I mentioned earlier again, it's going to be about corporations that are taking advantage of consumers, mostly. That's going to be my main thing. Or SIs that are doing dumb stuff in general. PC, PlayStation, Xbox don't have a ton of RGB. True? Braxton, I think I said hi, but hi again. Thick PCs, what's up? I'm on a 1300K 4090 playing RuneScape. Beat that, Skeeter Gaming. Liar, more roast, please. The warning is on the forum. The warning is on the forum, and I can still use that. I can still do that. But the thing is, I can also gauge the feeling of the person, because there have been people who have straight up left after starting out positive, and it's because they did something like choosing the wrong budget. And that's not a huge deal. So, just shows Alucard their place, the sacrificial lamb. Alucard the effigy. Kenneth, what's going on? How are you? I think the hardest thing for people is reading. Sick PCs, especially when they feel like they want to get the form in as soon as possible because maybe they don't have a lot of time to be here for the stream, or they want to get in first. I've been there. I've done that. I've made those kinds of mistakes before. Nerds should never. Steve says nerds should never hurt each other, but telling someone to download RAM will always be funny. Oh yeah. Again, a million years ago, I worked somewhere where I was asked to find some NFU paper. Well, it's like the mechanic saying I needed to change your blinker fluid and your muffler bearings. Same vibe. After 2 hours of searching, I got told that's... Yep. And I could die plenty of times. It works for me. It's the thing. Is like... I genuinely... I don't know. Let me put it this way. There's fun and stuff, and that's great. But there's a lot of crap going on in the world right now, and I know I don't want to spoil the vibes, but it's rough out there, and we don't want to make it rougher or whatever. I just like, I don't know. I still reserve the right to roast somebody if they seem like they're cool with it. Which you can usually tell. You can usually tell. but it's no longer important to me to do so. In fact, it's important for me to be more welcoming and all that. I mean, you don't want to be the sort of Saturday Night Live IT guy, you know? I mean, I spent decades helping people who were new to technology with technology. And that sort of forges something. That gets you to a point. I mean, if you care about it anyway. There's plenty of people who do that and never turn to caring about communicating in a way that's, you know, not exclusionary. But yeah. But what's up, Mikey? How's it going? Hope you're doing well, bud. I did a custom build from Skytech. It says ENRF. Would you be able to tell me if it's okay and if I should change anything? ENRF, have you already purchased it? It looks like you filled out the form on the 27th of March for a parts list rather than a pre-built. Looks like you were trying to build a PC rather than buying a PC, which is either way is valid. I mean, either way is fine. It doesn't matter. You get the PC however you want. It'll game the same either way. It's just at certain times one saves you money over the other. And right now, that's leaning a little more towards pre-builts, but yeah. But yeah, ENRF, it looks like we didn't really get to do yours. So you'll be first because you submitted your form a few weeks ago. You will be first if you want to just go through the regular process. The thing is, you can't submit a link here in YouTube chat. If you were in Twitch chat, you can whisper me the link, and I'll look at the build that way. I don't actually know how I should feel about the fact that YouTube used to have direct messaging and they took it away. I should probably be glad about that. Anywhere that I have a profile where I have my DMs open, I can't go looking in my message requests. I can't do it. It's a mountain of them. It looks like you did follow me on Twitch, ENRF, so yeah. Hang in there, Brain. GF's tariff video was pretty daunting. Not sure if you've seen it. I have. Yeah. I'm in a good place financially to weather the storm. I'm happy to hear that too. I am. However, it looks like the administration is capitulating a bit on that. It's just that we need a timeline. It's like they've learned nothing about how the stock market reacts to how the economy, the entire economy reacts to their moves. But hey. Okay, that's fine, ARF. That works. But yeah, you will be first. That boy Chewy, hello, what's up? How's it going? I gotta say, though, that the tariff video was actually inspiring because there's something I have seen happen before in the SI industry, and it's the thing. A lot of people from larger SIs, they know each other, and they're cool with each other. They're friends with each other. They're all going through the same crap. You know, they're going through the same tough spots as everyone else. They do compete, though. But I've seen it to where they like, you know, they come together in certain times and help each other out. And for that video, a lot of them did. I saw iBuyPower and CyberPower working with each other. And here's the kicker, everybody. It made me want to reach out to CyberPower and be like, you know what? I've talked a lot of crap, and it seems like some of y'all have too, through comments or whatever, clandestine-wise. In fact, having one of your creators come in and be like, yeah, let me take this guy's, like 40 minutes of this guy's time and then say, I already bought a CyberPower PC, ha ha ha. All of that. Which, jokes on them, you guys came together and just completely turned that around because that made me feel not great. But anyway, it made me want to reach out to CyberPower and just open a dialogue. I've been open for that for the longest time, actually. But it makes me want to be proactive in that. And share my feedback. And maybe bring some of those cases in the SI testimonials where they didn't do so well to their attention so that maybe they can take care of those people. Because that's Another way in which that can potentially be useful, by the way, is that there are some SI representatives who are in the Discord who can sometimes see, who will monitor their SI testimonials channel, for their company. It's not theirs, it's ours, but they can monitor that and maybe reply to people and help them out if they're like, hey, I had this issue and it sucks. And they're like, yo, that does suck. Let's fix that for you. Cool. How are you gonna build tonight? I'm gonna build for other people. I'm gonna help people find PCs. That's the PC matchmaking thing, Chewy. People who filled out the form are going to be getting one-on-one help. Still don't see a whisper yet, but ENRF, do you know how to get the link from that? Oh, sorry, Alucard, I missed that on Twitch, and then you said it on YouTube. What Intel CPU would be more appropriate for a B580? A 12600K or 12700K? Why are you doing a K? Like, and what's the use case? Alucard, you know better than that. What is it being used for? If it's just for gaming, go for like a 12400. Oh, okay. 1440p gaming and photo editing. The photo editing thing makes it a little bit more difficult. You could do 12400 or 12500, and actually, and as long as you have a more recent microcode, maybe the 13400, because that I think is, well, that's a 10 core CPU, and then 13500 I think is a 14 core CPU. But the thing is, you don't need a lot of cores for Photoshop to work really well. As a matter of fact, the 9700X is 8 cores, and that's the top CPU on the market right now for Photoshop. So I would do probably a 12 or a 13400 or 13500 instead of a 12600K or 12700K. You can't overclock it anyway. Doesn't matter. So that's what I would do. That boy I see 54. How do I hook up fans like with no fire? Huh? What do you mean no fire? Main reason for 12600 is because I have them in inventory. Oh, then 12600K. I don't know if I already said this equations, but again, thank you for the lurk. God, Twitch already with an ad break. I feel like I just started. Go away. Mine caught fire. Well, however you hook them up, don't do that. I don't know how you would have hooked up fans to cause fire, but you may have, I don't know, you may have grounded it accidentally, something like that. Just do it carefully. Watch a video. Having me tell you words isn't going to help you a lot. You want to see a video where you get a real close-up on how fans are connected, okay? Molex. Oh, Molex. Okay. Don't go Molex. Molex are the worst, one of the worst PC connectors in the history of PCs. Yeah. I get that those are the ones you have. But like, look up like the Arctic P12s. They're incredibly cheap and very performant. Get yourself some new fans. How do you whisper on Twitch again? Oh, here. If you're on Twitch, go over there, click my name, because I just put something in chat, and then click send a whisper, or whisper. If you want cheap RGB, Thermalright has a 3-pack for like $150. Alucard, are you sure about that price? Did you mean to put $15? $150 is not... Yeah, okay. I was like, are they actually Lian Li Unifans that we're talking about? Or like Corsair Link IQ Link fans? Tiger Lily, thank you for the lurk. How are you? Hi, welcome. King Music, are you from Canada? Nope. Welcome to the stream. Okay, ENRF, we're gonna bring up your form here, and you're gonna tell me what has changed, if anything. Other than the fact that you're looking at getting something pre-built for you. So, before you listed a budget of $2,000 to $2,500, somewhere in there. You chose parts lists. So it looks like, okay, so you said you don't live near a micro center, but that you do live near a micro center, but you don't want it from there. Maybe. You want a lot of RGB, 1440p, gaming, streaming, content creation / video editing. Has that changed? You want it in white. Prefer price to performance. Want to be able to upgrade the CPU over time. Okay. Well, you went with the rose gold King 95, which is a sick choice. I like that. I like that case a lot. And it is exclusive to Skytech. Only they get it. You went with the 9070 XT. Okay. Well, you have it at 2637.67, which is above the budget that you listed here. Maxed out at 2500. Not a problem. We can keep the 2500 still gaming and everything like that. Well, everything like that, what I'm curious about is this. Content creation / video editing. That's a big one. That is before discount a la carte. Correct. It is. Absolutely. Non-RGB are like 20 for 3. Oh, MG25G2 are, yeah, those are nice. I do like those. Dean Dr. Mitch, thank you for the lurk. I appreciate it. So Molex, what I need is split fan power, right? Usually if you buy a pack of fans, it comes with a splitter, or not splitter, but a hub, a fan hub. There's some coupons that make it a total of 2,400. I'm only going to do gaming and streaming only. Got it. So that does change. That's what I was asking specifically, was whether this was changing or not. So we'll change that. But what does it mean when those change? What does it mean that you're doing gaming, streaming only and not content creation? Well, we can change certain things. Like you don't necessarily need to go with a large quantity, like a large capacity for RAM. And also the 9800X 3D would not have been the right choice for content creation / video editing. The other thing is, you don't really need a 9800X 3D. You're gaming at 1440p. And that you lose the benefit of the 3D V cache once you go above 1080p. Not 100%. You still get some benefit. And it is a good CPU for gaming and streaming, to be clear. But you might be able to bump up over like a 9070 XT and instead go with like a, well, 5070 Ti is similar in performance. And you're not editing video, so it doesn't matter that it, you know, NVIDIA versus... Oh, by the way, Michelle Melton, hello. Peter Burston, hello. I know I missed saying hi to some people. Cecil Ree, welcome. I did help out ENRF earlier and provided a link for that one. If you want, I can send you the one I did. Yes, please, Alucard. So ENRF, if you go to the Discord and you get help from a volunteer techie, that is a person, that is an actual, real, genuine person, believe it or not, okay? And they are volunteers. They're doing it because they want to do it. They're not getting paid to do that. Generally, I like to respect their time, and I hope that community members do the same. So whatever they recommend, I'm usually 100% behind that. Yeah, see, like if you're going to be streaming, here's what you did. You went too high on the CPU. You don't need an extra D CPU for anything 1440p or 4K. If your budget is whatever, then yeah, grab it. It's the top thing on the chart things. And you chose to instead cheap out as much as humanly possible on your motherboard. Now, if you're going to be streaming, this is the absolute worst thing you can do when speccing out your own PC. The motherboard is what determines just how many things you can plug into that PC, including things like Stream Decks, webcams, external capture cards, audio interfaces, USB microphone or XLR microphone into a XLR interface, which guess what? Uses USB. You're going to be connecting over time a lot of stuff. And if you cheap out like crazy on your motherboard and don't even think about it, like you just left it on the default here, probably. If you cheap out like crazy on your motherboard, you are getting first off, it's a $480 CPU that you may not be really doing good justice to with the power delivery that comes with this cheap AF B650M-C motherboard. For a budget build, that's probably a great motherboard. But you're going to have a smaller than it should be motherboard in this big, gorgeous case that has a white interior that will absolutely emphasize the fact that you cheaped out on your motherboard, because it will be a big gap between the bottom of the case and the motherboard. Like, it's not ATX. It's not full ATX. Okay. Now, I'm not blaming you for doing this, especially if this is your first PC. Your first PC, I totally understand. I'm trying to make this a teachable moment where it's like, oh, okay, so I should definitely actually care about the motherboard. And yeah, you might not think so. And I get that. But yeah, that's probably where I would have said the major mistake was here. I was 100% sure if that was a bot or not. Nope, real people. I was being completely facetious when I was like, believe it or not, they're real. Of course, they're real people. They're like higher ranked members of the Discord. Look, AI hasn't gone that far. Main thing I changed the motherboard to the Asus Prime X870-P Wi-Fi. Link reverts back to the original one. Okay. Now, there's another thing that's a major difference between micro ATX motherboards and full ATX motherboards. And that is expandability. If you want to be able to put something like this, like that inside your PC to add more USB ports, which you might need to do with the Prime motherboard, because I mean, there aren't many affordable motherboards with the silver accents to match the white build, white and rose gold build on there that are good options within the budget. But you want to be able to add more USB ports with this thing. You need a PCIe slot to do that. And micro ATX cuts off half of those, or all of them if there's just no accessibility due to the graphics card. They might have one under the graphics card, but it's like blocked by the graphics card. So also internal capture cards. If you're going to be capturing a console, or if you're going to be capturing like a really high-end camera and you want an internal capture card for that, whatever the case is, you need PCIe slots to do that in the future. And so just something to remember going forward. And for everybody else, you got to pay attention to your motherboard. Don't sell yourself short there. That is the hardest component to upgrade in your PC, to the point where it's like, I might as well just build a new PC at this point. It's like you're rebuilding the PC completely. So power supply and motherboard, two things you should not cheap out on. Looking here, we have the Gamdias 1000 watt ATX3 Gold Helios. Are there other options? Let me see this. Let me check this real quick. I know I'm not on the screen. I'm going. There we go. We don't ignore motherboards. We do not ignore power supplies. That's why we do what we do. So we go to the PSU tier list. And then we're going to go to the main list here. And we're going to Control F, Gamdias. I can't believe they named a power supply that, but we're moving on. Okay, so that's the Helios. Helios P2. Helios P2 is good, actually. Wow. A rating, B plus rating, B plus rating. So for the 1000 watt, B plus rating. That's totally fine. Now, is B plus Good enough for a $2,500 PC? Yeah, you know, you could go a little higher end on the power supply to an A-rated power supply. But I would say that this does well enough for the purpose. And there are no notes like extremely poor build quality and yada yada. I chose the ASRock CL850G. Interesting. Let's see how that one does. Phantom Gaming Steel Legend Tai Chi. I don't see that one in here. Let's see. It's not on this newer, more comprehensive PSU tier list, so I wouldn't do it. Not until that gets added in, basically. Unless there's part of the name that you're not telling me. And I'll go look here to find that out. Let's see. ASRock. Challenger. Okay, Challenger. Challenger. Okay. There it is. 8. Okay, gold ATX 3.1 is B with an asterisk. Oh, this is the one. Oh. That's a little sketchy to me. The reason is this is one of those newer power supplies that are cutting back on PCIe connectors, and this is an AMD GPU. No, it is on the list. A la carte. It's right here. It's the Challenger, and the Gold ATX 3.1 is the one they're going to use here, 850 watt. Yeah, there we go. ATX 3.1 Challenger. So there you go, 850 watt. We have all the info we need to find it on the list. It's right here. I didn't like the new PSU Cultist tier, not Cultist, PSU tier list until I really started digging into it a little bit, just in some free time, and I realized, no, these tabs kind of cover everything, and you can find most power supplies in here. But yeah, it's a little short on PCIe connectors, but I imagine that I mean the most 9070 XT is that gonna have 3 PCIe connectors, or is it gonna have 2? I don't know. So because of that fact, I wouldn't go with this one. And I would say B plus is actually a higher rating than this. So higher wattage, higher rating. I would definitely stick with the. Oh, actually, no, it's more expensive. It is $50 more, but it's what was already chosen here. So if we go here, we leave that power supply. Honestly, neither of those power supplies is a bad choice, to be clear. $50 cheaper is quite nice for going from a B plus to a B. I think they're both decent choices. And if you go with this $65 plus for the motherboard. Wait, what's this here? Hold on. $99 for something with an LCD. Is that the LCD? Is that what that has? Or not? I don't know. Whatever. No. Okay, so that's the best option there. One terabyte of storage, though. I'm gonna ask you a question real quick. It has 3 on the Asus mod. What? Yeah, pricing on storage is not amazing, but the thing is, we still have to ask. So, ENRF, are you comfortable with adding storage to your PC? Because at 1 terabyte, I guarantee you, you're going to be adding storage very soon. No, I'm saying, are you comfortable doing it yourself? Because we're already above budget here at $2688. Because I upgraded your motherboard, just like Alucard did. Now, we could go down to the 850 on the power supply. That'll get us $50 back. Yes, you can add storage yourself? Okay. Then I would leave the 1 terabyte, I suppose. Now, the main place where I would make it, because even here, you're paying $529.99, which could have something to do with tariffs, by the way, for the 9800X3D. $530 for the CPU. And gaming at 1440p or 4K, the CPU takes a back seat, like a lot. It takes a back seat by a lot. So the main change I would make right off the bat, seeing your resolution, if we're strapped for budget in any way, is to maybe put you on a 9700X. Which they don't have. So 7700X. That takes $130 off the price. But first, wait, hold up. How much are they charging for a 7700X? $399? No, it's still like $320. Don't forget, guys, we are seeing price increases on parts across the board. That's just how things are now. But that brings it down to $2558.89. Oh my god. The 9950X3D is almost $600 more. Oh. I mean, the near double MSRP 9070 XT. Double? Yeah, well, it's $200 short of double. You're right. I changed my Frowler name from Twitch. This is best I could get. How you doing, Braythorn? Oh, okay, yeah. Doing good. How are you? Zelmov, what's up? And Robert, welcome. Save $200 on CPU and put it towards 1440, 240 hertz monitor. Well, I'm hoping that they have separate budget for the monitor. That's how that's supposed to work. Yeah, 7800X3D is only $50 more. You are correct on that. I agree with you 100%. 2608. So you're still getting X3D in case there's some games that are more CPU bound that you play. Because some games can be. Regardless of resolution. This is probably the best overall build here. And we are down on the price. We went down on we lowered the price by like, my goodness. Yeah. Well, so like $60 overall. I don't remember what it was before. Next Black Friday sales are going to be like just 50% above MSRP. These deals can't be missed. Yeah, they can. No, I got you, Frowler. I figured that out. Like the Kingston NV3 can work for 1 terabyte drive if you need to drop it a little more. I think this is fine before discount. Shipping's going to be free. First off, let me just copy this. Let's see if this comes out to after discount. But yeah, that 9070 XT being like $400 over MSRP is rough, but that is the market right now. Oh, it's Swarm, dummy. Okay, so that will drop the price by $80, bringing your price to $2569.42. But shipping is free. So there you go. It was a CPU choice, storage cost, and the crazy priced RAM hurt in options. Yeah. One good thing is you do have the 1000-watt power supply there, which is nice. That's going to give you some upgradability in the future because at 850 watts, you are above what's required for the 9070 XT. But I mean, even with that, like, Power Color had, was it Power Color that had one one 9070 XT where they were like, you need a 900 watt power supply. And I was like, who makes those even? But there you go. I normally, if someone got help from someone on Discord, from a techie on the Discord, I normally wouldn't redo the whole process for them out of respect for the volunteer's time. But in this case, there's not anybody who's really waiting for help, so it didn't really matter in this case. But there you go. Red Devil is based on what CPU you were using. Interesting. No problem, ENRF. You got it. And the code to get you that price is... There you go. Code SWARM. There you go. All right. By the way, so it looks like we had... the blank fill out the form yesterday. I don't know if they're here or not. I don't know if it's Epic G is going to come back. But that was unfortunate. But yeah, now is a good time, guys, if y'all want help with a PC to fill out the form. So if you're watching on Twitch, there is a message that has been popping up every 5 minutes that says, want help getting the right PC. Here, let's do, here we go.
Want help getting the right PC for your budget needs? Fill out this form. Note, submitting this form does not guarantee I can help you during the stream, but your entry will stay in the queue so I can help you in a later stream. HTTPS, I'm not doing all that.
Anyway, click that link, fill out the form, and I can help you out. If you're watching on YouTube, it's even easier. It is in the description. It's the first thing there. So... click that. Now, if you have filled out the form in the past, well, Skeeter, I like this voice more, please. All right, here we go.
Stay there. If you filled out this form in the past, please let me know. I don't automatically know that you're here and waiting for help. So, if you're watching on Twitch, please use the free emote that says, I'm on the list. You gotta follow the channel to get that emote, though. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, it's a little bit more difficult. You gotta type out @Brayathorn, I'm on the list. You gotta spell my name correctly. This is all I ask for your free help.
There you go. There you go, Skeeter. Hey guys, I hope all is well. What's up, Northern Lights? I think this guy's work is great. And if you haven't hit the like button and follow, it helps his content reach more people. That is true. Thank you very much. What's up, Northern Lights? Hope you're doing well. Also, did you hydrate? I did a hydrate. I did not hydrate. Let me hydrate. Absolutely spectacular. Thank you. Love the old school radio gangster tone. Is it gangster? It's the old school radio voice guy. That's nice. I'm glad you like it. I actually can't hear it. I'm getting the monitoring directly from the microphone because Wavelink is really stupid, and they're like, "Oh, you want to monitor your voice? Okay, here's like 10 milliseconds of delay. Enjoy your insanity that's going to cause." Frowler, thank you for watching on both YouTube and Twitch. I appreciate it. This message brought to you from a time-displaced Bray in the 1930s. I wish I could hear it too. It's the Capone era radio, so pretty much. I don't think... What do you guys think about the past? That, like, everyone was a gangster because they sounded like that? No. I mean, maybe. I didn't live back then. All right, so who am I helping? What are we doing? Let me help somebody. I just call it the Dick Tracy voice. There you go. Absolutely. Right on the money. Lux. Jose MB says, for the algorithm. Jose, I will say that chatters are not, that's good. Having active chatters does help, I think, a little bit. It's not like a YouTube comment, though, or a like, though. But yes, any interaction is good, and I appreciate it, and I hope you're enjoying the stream. And I, of course, for those who are lurking, I do appreciate y'all as well. My daddy ran Shine back during the 30s. The sailor. Wow. Help us watch Super Metroid? Sure. Oats and Goats broke his own world record again in low percent ice, if you're into that. It was a sick run because it looked like it was going really poorly, and he totally brought it back and beat his own record by like 12 seconds. Your wife got a kick out of hearing the transatlantic accent. What's up, Triple B? How's it going? Also, Mrs. Triple B, how are you? I see a bunch of hearts going up in the chat. Thank you, YouTube chatters. I appreciate y'all. Thank you very much. Patton the Apple Gamer. Hello. Hi. How's it going? If you want to be just Patton the Gamer, let me know and I'll help you find a PC. No hate though. I admire the dedication it takes to the game on Apple. Jose MB says, you helped me buy my first pre-build last year. Cannot thank you enough. Well, you're welcome. Doing good, thanks. Got my new PC today. Oh, snap. Are we looking at a username change now? What'd you get? And from whom? Like what company? We need more water-cooled Mac Studios like what LTT did some time ago. It's delicate work. It is delicate work. It's pretty incredible what they did with that, though. Every time I get to chat with Alex at like CES or Computex or whatever, I ask him, what are y'all working on right now? And he gets all excited. He's like, oh, man, we're working on this or working on that. He told me in January about the all-in-one gaming TV. And I was like, I cannot wait for that. That's insane. Alex from LTT, by the way, is who I'm talking about. Intel i7 5070 Ti. UK PC. Okay, I know Stormforce. Okay. All right. Alucard, no, he's not. Alex is super cool. I haven't really met anyone from LTT that was not genuinely cool. But I guess, I mean, I haven't met everyone there. Maybe there's somebody. Rebrand is coming soon. Okay, I mean, you're not forced to. I mean, that's... Yeah. An Apple gamer thought that was encrypted. I mean, there's emulation. Oh, right. That's... Okay, I get you. That's a good one, Alucard. Why is my stream show like that? Why is it looking like I'm offline? Okay, that fixed it. Never mind. So by the way, so I've told you guys why the Twitch streams are coming through at 720p and not 4K like they're supposed to. And it's because I can't have different bit rates between YouTube and Twitch on Meld, the software I'm currently using for streaming. So I basically commented on one of their YouTube shorts and I was like, please, different bit rates for multi-streaming, please. Apparently they are currently working on that. So I'm either going to switch to OBS, like I definitely should, especially if I want to get finite singularity back on the stream, which I do, and we've talked about it already. I need to be using OBS to use his OBS plugins. But yeah, at least they're working on that. So I'll be better able to recommend Meld for those just getting into streaming for the first time. Gonna upgrade the RAM because I want to play Inzoi. Is Inzoi going to require more than 32 gigs of RAM? Okay, sure. That's it, everybody. This is Linus's Shaft. So I don't know if you guys know who Splave is. Splave is a world-class overclocker, one of the best in the world. Most awarded overclock. I think most winningest overclocker in the world. But he posted some teasers on Instagram of where he was. And he's at LTT right now, and I guess they're showing off the Splave PC because they are, he's got a system integrator company now. So. I commented, I was like, okay, well, please tell Linus thanks again for giving me your shaft. And yeah, there you go. So Linus might get a little reminder of that. And I'm gonna, every time I see him, I'm gonna be able to say that, and that's the best. That is the best. Were some of your past stream issues OBS related? I thought it was all 1400K. No, it was 14900K issues. Yeah, but I had to in one day set up a different PC for streaming, set up an entirely new stream because I didn't want to bring my whole OBS setup over from that and just like copy, because there's so many assets that I have in there. I have to move all that stuff too. I really need to just package all that into like a one folder so that I can, with like subfolders in it, so that I can just set up a stream elsewhere at any time. But so to set up a stream quickly, I switched to Meld just because Meld is very quick to set up. And even with setting it up quickly, you can set up cool movement transitions and things like that. It's just some of the really basic features of others, of OBS are not there with Meld. So, well, I mean, multi-streaming is not a part of OBS, to be clear. But if you get the multi-stream plugins that are out there, your ATEM or the one that I use, which is less of a big name one, you can set up different bit rates for different streams and you have separate encoding for it. It recommended 32 gigs, but I was told to get double what is recommended for ultra settings. Okay, don't set it to ultra. Easy answer. There you go, Patton. Just to be clear, because I don't know if PC gaming, ignoring your YouTube handle there. If PC gaming is new to you, I'm gonna give you a cheat code for enjoying gaming on PC. Ultra settings are good for two things: screenshots and benchmarking. Stress testing. That's it. Usually going from high settings to ultra settings, you're barely getting any visual difference. You'll barely be able to notice the visual difference, but the demand on your PC is way higher. Do not set your games to ultra. High settings are usually where it's at if you have a higher end PC. I mean, I've been gaming on a 4090 for a long time now, and I never set my games to ultra. I just don't. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't make a big difference. You're using more power, putting more heat into your space, into your room, into your PC first, and then out into your area, which raises the ambient temperature in the room, which eventually leads to less ability to cool off your parts. You're also potentially shortening the longevity of your components by putting them to their maximum at all times. You don't want to do that. And so it only needs 16 gigs for recommended specs. Yeah, the only thing about upgrade, another thing, Patton, is that when it comes to DDR5, you don't really upgrade DDR5 by adding to it. You replace it. It is, regardless of what you've seen out there and what DDR4 and every other, generation of RAM was like before that, you don't really want to go with 4 sticks of DDR5 for stability purposes. You want to go with 2 sticks. So you get the RAM kit that is at the capacity that you need right off the bat. That's what you should do with RAM. Unless you're buying the cheapest kit that an SI has because their prices aren't good on RAM. And then you just buy your own kit and swap it out. And then you keep that original kit just for troubleshooting purposes down the road or whatever. Now, Patton, if you're going to be playing a very demanding game and streaming at the same time, then yeah, get more RAM than you need. Like any Escape from Tarkov streamer, they're going to want to consider a lot of RAM. Any streamer that plays very heavily modded games, you're going to want to consider having a higher RAM capacity. But yeah. Let me see. Force Gaming Network for Nerds, what's up? DFGNFN. Rolls off the tongue. How's it going? Okay, thanks. Never knew that. No problem. I said a lot of stuff, so I'm not sure what you're referring to, but yeah, sure. But yeah, switch to 64 gigs of RAM to be completely stable and running. Video editing, more RAM. Yes. With video editing, capacity is king. El Mirador, what's up? Posture check? Sure. How have you been? Yeah, essentially that, what Alucard said. If you're going to be upgrading to 64 gigs, don't buy a matching kit for the 32 gigs you already have. Buy a complete 64 gig kit, 2x32, 2 32 gig sticks, and do that instead. You can Google the pre-built if that helps. I'm good. I mean, unless you join the list and you want me to actually look at it to make upgrades to it, sure. But I don't think you need to upgrade anything for a while. I want to record and upload to YouTube. I have an M4 Max MacBook Pro 16 for editing. Perfect. That's probably all you're ever going to need for video editing. Those things are insane for video editing. And chat, I'm glad you finally got to see me in a situation where I'm like, just get a Mac. Where the person was like, I want to do content creation. And my budget is $1,000. I'm just like, Mac Mini. Oh, but I want to do some gaming. Get yourself a Steam Deck then. Along with that. Because it can hook up to a base, a dock, and then you have it on your monitor and everything. For light gaming, that's all you need. Can confirm my M1 MacBook Air eats 4K video alive. It does. They just optimized it for that. They did. Now, a really high-end PC will eat 4K footage alive too. But the cost to get to that point is higher. It's just Apple, like the gaming PC, you'll be able to upgrade that thing for years and keep it current with video editing software, having higher demands and doing all that stuff. Apple, they do everything they can to keep you from ever upgrading your PC. It's like with their phones. Like they won't want you to buy a new phone, of course. We can't upgrade phones, whatever. But you know what I mean? It's basically like, oh, if you wanted to have 64 gigs of RAM, you just need to buy it that way. By the way, we don't know what RAM prices are for everyone else. We only know that they're 4 times that for us. I guess they would need to know what everyone else's price is in order to know that theirs are 4 times that. Whatever. Thought of becoming a YouTuber, which is why the long name, but I don't have the YouTuber energy. Lamau. I'll do it down the road, but I just don't have the energy like you do, Braythorn. Okay. TFGNF and You can just call you the Force or something. FGN, Force Gaming Network. Okay. Here's the truth about me. Now, a lot of people in chat know this already. I have chronic fatigue syndrome. I combat it with prescription medication that I take. Because it's hard to get, I very often run out and have to wait a week or two to get more. It's great. I love that. It's my favorite thing. Then it's just caffeine and sheer willpower doesn't help a lot with CFS. But I have a long history of performance. Stage, theater, improv comedy stuff with an improv group, doing local TV shows, things like that. And you just learn to switch it on. Whatever tiredness you feel, you learn to switch it on. So it's training basically, and it's just something that anyone can learn. So my thing is this: whenever someone tells me they want to become a content creator, a bit of advice that I give is this: learn to talk into a camera. Like I'm engaging with you guys and I'm talking with you guys. I'm looking at just a camera, just this lifeless little glass circle right here. But what's up? It feels silly until you do it over and over and over and over and over again. I have a long history of being a bookworm and reading a lot, absorbing a lot of media, and also just being on stage and just pouring it all out. When I end stream, guys, I am devastated. I got nothing. I stumble to the couch and pass out or whatever. I got nothing left because I taught myself, I was taught to just leave it all on the stage. Everything you got. Everything you possibly got. Now, also, I've had comments in some of my videos where people are like, yo, this was a chill video, and I like that. I appreciate that. Some of my videos, I'm just calmly talking about stuff. It doesn't always have to be this crazy amount of energy. I feel like that's more important for streaming than for videos. Your videos have whatever vibe you want them to have. So if you're chill, your videos can be too. Put a Mac Mini on top of your GPU. It'll fit. Yeah. Mac at the moment doesn't look bad at all anymore when you think about prices. I mean, you're Fraller, you're getting in on a Mac Mini, a basic Mac Mini for $599. Not bad. If you're just using it for one purpose, this is my video editing workstation right here. Cool. I mean, that's not going to be a crazy video editing workstation, but it's going to outperform a PC that costs 3 times as much. Put it that way. So happy I stumbled across your channel. So am I, Patton. Absolutely. Yeah, this guy's awesome. Thank you. I kind of hate Apple. They're overpriced for computer upgrades. That's the thing. It's the upgrade thing. It is super overpriced. The thing is, their basic stuff works really well. So kudos to them for that. If only they could not punish people for wanting to have something a little better than their base spec. Don't throw all your eggs in one basket. Multi-stream to several platforms. Hi Twitch. Hi YouTube. Speaking of energy, I need to head to bed. It's 3:40 a.m. here. Patton, good lord. All right. Hope you have a great evening. Thank you for hanging out. And sorry I stream at in what seems like an unreasonable time for you. I start at around 8 p.m. Central here, so it's really not bad for me. I'm more of a night owl anyway, though. I mean, really, if I have any energy, it's at night. How I've always been. I've spent tons of time on YouTube, and I rarely use for live streaming. It's 99% video watching. My primary source of entertainment is YouTube, and it has been for a very long time, since early Game Grumps. Okay, so many years ago. That's when I was like, there's a lot of cool stuff, and also, of course, early Linus Tech Tips and early tech channels, things like that. Before it was like, oh, I need to look up a video on how to do this, and then I would go to YouTube. But I didn't really see it as entertainment. The worst part is I got the Arkansas voice, so I would be known as a redneck tech channel, but I want to give it a try. You wouldn't be the only one. There are other channels like that and builders like that, like PC modders and things like that. So don't worry about that. Just be yourself. And the thing is, some people are going to be like, that is a very distinctive thing, and I appreciate that about this channel. Whoever you are, whatever story you have to tell, there's probably an audience for it. Now, sometimes finding that audience is a matter of luck. That's what happened to me. I didn't start my YouTube channel with the idea of being the pre-built guy. That would never have crossed my mind. I mean, for years and years and years, I had been helping people spec out PCs, but I hadn't ever taken a deep dive into the pre-built industry. I just knew a few good SIs, and I was like, okay. But it was when I was paying attention to analytics. And well, one thing that YouTube will tell you when you're looking at a video is what search terms brought people to this video. And one day I did a thing where I had to get an upgrade for my PC, and there were no GPUs. This was like in 2020. There were no GPUs. Or 2019? Yeah, it was like late 2019 or something. I don't know. Whenever that happened. Whatever. Anyway. So I bought an iBuyPower PC. I was like, easy solution. SIs have their own allocation, whatever, so I'm just going to go through that. Cool. I got it in days. And people were like spending the price of just my PC, of my whole PC rather, just to get the GPU I had in my PC off of eBay or whatever. That was the worst way to word that ever. Basically, I bought a whole PC with a 3070 in it for the same price people were paying for just a 3070 on eBay. It was crazy. So I was like, I'll make a video about this. And then I saw a search term that had brought people to the video, because that video did a little better. I was like, okay. So I made another one about it. And the search term that had brought people to that was best pre-built PC best pre-built gaming PC 2020. And I was like, okay, but like, what if I make a video series where I'm able to use those words in some kind of order or another in almost every title? And bam, here we go. That's when I was like, okay, I figured out how to look at what SIs have for their inventory by looking at their configurator. Cool. And then I was like, why are there no pre-built channels? Why doesn't anybody just talk about pre-builts? So I have the whole niche to myself. Still, 5 years later, still have the niche to myself. It's crazy. I have told other tech YouTubers, I'm like, hey, get a piece of this. Get in on this. They need your help. I don't want pre-built buyers to just have one opinion to go by. Nah, they have DIY audiences, and they can't lose that. So, call me Force if you want to. You got it, Force. Okay, no problem. I tried to learn sailing, and YouTube helped me so much. Learned sailing about in a week almost. Nice. Education is the finest form of entertainment. Tech blacksmith. Very true. Tanmay, what's up? Hello. Finding that one person who has been supporting you at the beginning is magical. That's Cuddles. That is Cuddles. And that's why, guys, if you've noticed that my content has kind of fallen apart, it's because he was in a way like he was a major element of the channel because he'd been with me from the beginning, and I could just be like, hey, if I do this, can you do that? Yeah, sure. And I've just been trying to get my feet back under me, plus family health issues, which are mostly resolved now. But yeah, I miss working with Cuddles, and yeah, he left the channel in last November. Look at the amount of videos I've uploaded since then. And that's no fault of his own. If he needed to leave, he needed to leave. It's just, why can't I run this on my own? Should be able to do that. I have a car mechanic friend. They use YouTube as a guide to repair cars when they don't know how to. Yeah. It's just like any internet search whenever you're an IT person or going to forums or things like that. The most important thing to learn when you're getting into IT is how to say, I don't know, but I'll find out. And then learn how to find things out and research things. Welcome to the world of SEO, 100%. Yeah, Alucard, you said I should go with a Mac Mini just for the sake of learning how to use Apple for IT purposes. I had a client back when I was doing basically freelance IT, where it was a law office and they just wanted to run Mac for everything. And that was a major learning curve for me. Good Lord. That took me forever. Pre-build or assembled PC audience massively bigger than DIY because no technical person wants to do the customer service part. Well, it's not just that, Panmei, it's that like one of the major reasons I think there need to be more people doing what I do is because who needs more help? A DIY enthusiast or a budding DIY enthusiast will generally have more knowledge at the onset than someone who is just trying to get it pre-built and just wants to game. So, yeah. Have you had the new White Peach Red Bull yet? Skeeter, I think I have. Brondo's got electrolytes? What's Brondo? What? Is that another drink? Anyway, we're at a standstill again because I don't know, you know, I love just you know, rambling about stuff with y'all, but the whole purpose of the stream being PC matchmaking, we're at a standstill because no one has submitted a form recently that is here to get help. So if you're here and you submitted a form previously and you haven't gotten help yet, please inform me of that. Let me know. I'll join you, but I know I need to set up my own bedroom to be a studio for content creation as well as PC building, flipping. What I need, because getting in front of the camera and talking, ideas for content, all of that stuff, I have in spades. But what I need is, and I already have someone who I'm interested in having, who I want to have be the main editor for the channel too, who is actually personally invested in the channel as well, because they want to see it succeed like I do. It's just that they are a professional and I want to pay them accordingly. And I'm worried that I will give them a bunch of work, and then because of the way the economy is and marketing budgets drying up left and right, I don't know that I can pay them properly. So, I mean, you have to understand, Cuddle's got most of the ad revenue from the YouTube channel, and it was pretty good a lot of the time. It's just he also had a full-time job, whereas this person, or Onware, his full-time job is being a freelance video editor, and I don't want to take their time that they could be spending on other projects and making good money. So, did you watch the GN Terrace documentary? I did. I haven't finished it. I got through most of it though. How crazy is it that Height went so far as to show all of their margins? That was crazy. I did not know their margins were so thin, but it does make sense for a newer company where brand recognition is such a critical part of your revenue, of getting customers. It's a major thing. That's a movie joke from Idiocracy. I have seen Idiocracy. I don't know which joke that was. Was it? Oh, Brondo's got electrolytes. Okay, got it. Did you watch? Yes, already answered that. I'm moving to my hometown soon, so I'm excited, and they have fiber, so woohoo for me. I can stream and record without lag. Nice. Fiber to home is magical. Yep, I've got 5 gig. Love it. One of the reasons I wanted to be here was that in this neighborhood. 5 gig networking, but yeah, I hope you guys have had fun with this just chatting portion of this. But again, if anybody does need help, it is completely open right now. So if you need help with a PC, I would be happy to help you out right now. It makes a lot of sense that there's not a lot of people looking to buy a PC right now with the economy as it is, and y'all got to know, like when it was good, when it was booming, That's when I was over on Twitch, just getting 3-digit viewership without raids, without any of that, just rocking it because a lot of people wanted to buy PCs. But with the economy as it is, it's going to be like this a few of these streams, guys, where it's just like, Kelly, what's up? How's it going? How are things over there? I'm really excited to work with y'all, man. I think I mentioned it on IG, but like, what a weird surprise collaboration. I'm super excited for that. I need to follow up with TJ. Keep talking about that. I'm getting grander ideas for how I'm gonna do the little project. But because of those grand ideas, I might be working with an SI that I know, not to do the build or anything. I would be doing the build live on stream, but to like machine some stuff, basically. Sorry, I just like I just hit you with all that right off the bat. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. That was such an eye-opening experience from what Height did there. I can't believe that they're like paying as much in cost as the retail price of a Y40. That's bananas. Dr. Mitch, thank you for the lurk. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. People are having some hardship, especially people like me on disability with fixed income. Yeah. These tariffs really hurt. I feel like no one really talks about people on fixed. Yeah. What scared me was the talk about Social Security, because my mom is on Social Security. She is. And my goal is to make it to where myself and my family, like I don't want to get rich. That sounds stressful as hell. I just want to be like, I'm not worried about money right now. That's where I want to share that with my loved ones. That's what I want. I want to still be at that point. I'm very far from that. Because if anything, to be a full-time content creator, you first have to go through where that is worse than when you have just a regular job, because it's feast or famine with at least the way I do things. I could still get there. It's possible, of course. But yeah, man. So with the whole Social Security thing, I was like, I don't know if I could support my mom too at this point, and she just went through a surgery, and which was followed up a week later with a car accident that put her in the hospital. In her late 70s. Like, that's not, you don't just bounce back from stuff like that. But, it's there's one thing that's been kind of a big change, a big shift, which is where now a lot of kids, when you ask them what they want to be when they grow up, they say they want to be a YouTuber. And I don't think that YouTube can support the entire economy like that. I don't think YouTube can be the entire workforce. There would need to be a lot of changes, but like, who's gonna do the regular? Who's gonna be the firefighters and the police officers, and who's gonna work the water treatment plants and all of that? Who's gonna be doing that stuff? The world needs to function, and it needs skilled, dedicated people to help the world function like that. And it's like, if all these kids are like, I just want to be a YouTuber. Oh man, am I contributing to this by becoming a full-time content creator? I do not know. But I will say this, I put in a lot of years, I put in decades of skilled labor. I did my time. Okay? I did do that. I didn't just skip right to this. Like, don't give me dirty looks. Go look at actually Carter PC. Go look at Carter PCs. He just went from high school to, well, he's already a full-time content creator, fresh out of high school. I cannot imagine that. Equations, I enjoy learning from your streams. Thank you for doing what you do. Have a good night. You got it, Equations. Thank you for hanging out. I'm not scared by AI. There's tons of things AI can never replace humans. 100%. 100%. Okay, so here's what I think I would like to do here. One second. Yo, that's not bad. So I told you guys about this, and I've been thinking about it a lot. So this could be this is a really exciting thing. And sorry, Kelly, every time you come in, you remind me about this. But I showed you guys the idea for a sort of a featured PC build, where I do the wall-mounted PC that is behind the Hylian shield, right? So I've been thinking about how I would do that, and I just found this, which is like I don't know about the price. It's like $26. That doesn't sound very strong to me, but this is just it looks like full ATX wall-mounted PC case. If you look at the measurements, though, the shield is 22 inches tall. Wait, what happened to? There we go. This thing at its longest point is 16. It's 12.5. That should actually fit behind it, and allows for standard mounting of the GPU. So the question I have for you, chat, is this: do I build the PC essentially in an open case like this, or just basically it's like a bench? This is meant to be wall mounted. This is meant to be wall mounted, by the way. That's what this is. Do I build it in something like this and then find a way to attach the PC in front of that, not the shield in front of that, or do I build it into the back of the shield? I think it'd be more serviceable if I make it to where the shield comes off with magnets. That's my thought. And I would basically drill and tap a couple holes into this or something stronger, figure out something stronger in order to attach those. Or it'll be a mechanical kind of hanging thing, instead of that. Or I can basically put this into the back of the shield, have the PC facing outward. I don't know. What do y'all think? I know I completely changed tones here, but this it just came springing forth back to the front of my mind. Walmart stuff isn't even nerd, it's art. True. Simple thing like firefighter saving a kitten stuck in a tree. AI can't do that. Peter, thank you for the lurk. I appreciate it. I think shield removable. Okay. I mean, if you've got feedback on it, I'm definitely listening to that for sure. I mean, it is magnetic, right? It's sheet metal, right? Sheet metal construction, right? Should be magnetic. So, and there are some very strong magnets out there. But what I would do is probably, because it has a slotted mounting point in the rear top of the shield, so I would put something to slot into that and then also have magnets on there. It'd be awesome if you could put lights on the exterior of the shield. It would be very awesome. And there are things like that. Like if you look behind me, this is a flexible LED diffused strip from Govee. I could do that. My original idea is just to have fans that are sort of spilling out RGB light from behind it. Or hell, just something like this. These are magnetic, also on the back. They're magnetic. And they just put out tons of light in any color that I want. I can also control them with the newer app. So just have those spilling light out of the sides. Very, very easy to do. Not controllable through the operating system, though, so that is one point against it. Frowler, I was thinking about VESA mounting. I was. Bought a similar system at AliExpress years ago, still using behind my TV PC. Could actually drill 4 hole in it and mount TV PC to wall. Yeah. Personally love to tinker with, and I think mounting the shield on to some type of dowel system and having PC just behind it. Backlit would be super cool too. Yeah, see, the thing is, having something like this around it is going to be a very controlled amount of light. I think maybe it would detract away a little bit from the quality of the shield, essentially. I'd rather have light just, I can put a little spotlight on it, something like that. Hit the shield normally and have light spilling out from behind it is probably what I'm thinking. So I can actually just put these, boom, right on the back. They just charge with USB-C. So I can have them constantly plugged in. Although the USB-C is on the back here. Not a huge fan of that. And these are inexpensive. These are not expensive. They're video lights. They're for, you know. But Newer makes my favorite stuff. I mean, Newer is also the reason that I went to NAB, which was super fun. Kelly, I should ask you, because you're a content creator. Have you been to NAB, by the way? It is so cool if you're into production, if you like production stuff, if you're a bit of a camera nerd too. I mean, if that, although I did, I don't know. It's there's stuff there that's way above my level. Like you're talking about like network level sports broadcasting setups and like meteorologists, weather person kind of green screen setups, not streamer green screen, but it's all the way from hobbyist to Hollywood. It's got everything. You should do a house/studio tour. I have done one in my previous studio. It was because I mean this isn't a studio. This is just a bedroom in a house. But yeah, I've wanted to do that, especially when I was doing the garage studio for a while. The garage is beyond all hope at this point. I need to just spend like a week clearing it out from all the cardboard boxes I get. That's mostly it. It's just needing to break down cardboard boxes. But having it in a Texas, having a studio in a Texas garage, I couldn't afford the kind of AC that I needed to make that livable. Tanma, you mentioned the weight. That's kind of what I had in mind, but I'd be worried about the weight. The shield is 6.6 pounds. It's nothing crazy. I hate the fact that in the future video games are going to be $100. If you were president, what would you do to lower prices on consumer goods or food? I would love to hear your ideas. I'm not an economist, and I'm kind of like, there needs to be more. We need to get back to where people who are in charge defer to those who are experts, who are there in position, who put experts around them and then listen to them. We get people who are actual experts in their fields and have them be in charge of those things. That's what we need to get back to. But essentially, I would hire a renowned economist and listen to them. That's what I would do to help with consumer costs. I'm not going to pretend I know better. Like when, with this whole 3-hour GN video going over tariffs and traveling around, they literally traveled around like that because, as Steve said, he's like, we don't understand tariffs. So we want to travel around and see what people who do understand them have to say. Like, that's the way to be. I don't think anybody knows everything. You literally cannot do that. You can't know everything about everything. And when we get in trouble is when people that are higher up think they do know everything better than everybody else, which you cannot do. So yeah. I would need a week or so to upgrade my basement bedroom to be a studio and workshop. Work and other factors is a pain. I mean, the thing is, I'm working with way less space in this room than I was in my last house. The whole plan was for me to have the garage. 2-car garage studio with AC, with me redoing everything from the ground up. And that was why, me trying to do that was why I went like months and months with no content a couple years ago when I moved here. I like an art installation style, warm light shining on the shield with white halo RGB strip. So this is cool. Check these out. So these are from Newer. And essentially, this little Rubik's Cube sized thing is a 60-watt cob light. It's RGB too. Like this little thing. Like, ignore the rest of it. Just this little cube is a 60-watt light. Just like the light I have as my fill light right here, which is twice the size. Okay? So I can put these little spotlights, like, check that out. I can put these little spotlights. I can also diffuse that. Got this little guy right here. The wrong side. That was the right side, actually. There we go. Get this here. So I can do spotlights. I can do spotlights like that. And that's kind of what I had in mind for that. There we go. And this helps to sort of focus it some. The thing is, I probably need to keep these available for travel. Because definitely the coolest thing about this. Also, this can run off of USB-C. Ha ha ha! There it is. That's the light. Newer is making moves, man. Thing is nuts. How much do those cost? These are like, I think for the bicolor, which is what most people would probably need, the bicolor, which you can go between warm and cool white light. I think it was like $70 or so. Which is a cob light. This is the chip on board, high quality filming light with really good CRI. Okay. Color reproduction index. You need to know. I think that's correct. Anyway, really good CRI, like 97 or higher. And internal cooling. It does need to have the fan. It does, but the downside to these, just to be clear, is that they have a proprietary mounting. Where are you going to fit a Bowens on this? You can't fit a standard mounting solution on this for a softbox. There is, though, the lantern-style softbox you see on that one over there. And I was getting B-roll of a PC, and I was just using these guys. It's awesome. And also, controlling these through the app, through the Newer app, super freaking easy. Or as complex as you need it to be as well. Like, you can get into the nitty gritty too. Listen, guys, I get excited about this stuff. There's a reason Newer paid for me to go out to NAB, because they know I know their products. Whatever I don't know, I'll learn. And I'm also very enthusiastic about things like lighting and rigging and cameras and all that stuff, even though my channel's not about that. Difference is you have more time to do so than I do. Talking about for setting up a... Well, I mean... I essentially... The way that I try to explain this... Because I definitely don't want to be dismissive of that comment. I do have more time than the average person for this because it's my full-time job. But... CFS... steals much of that time away from me. I essentially, because of chronic fatigue syndrome, I start the day with the amount of energy that most people end the day with. When you're like ready for bed and you're like, oh God, I just want to get showered, just jump in bed and just crash out. That's how I start my day. And I save up everything for being in front of camera. And I just let it all out and then I pass out. Like, that's chronic fatigue syndrome for you. The treatment helps. Caffeine helps. But yeah, TFS has stolen a lot of my life and my time out of every day. I have a few hours of productivity a day. That's the most I can get usually. Unless I just like go absolutely crazy with caffeine or whatever. Are they battery or USB-C powered? Fowler, these are not battery powered. You can't fit a battery in here. It's too small. These are USB-C or barrel plug. For the USB-C powering, you need to use a higher, like a battery bank or something that has high output or power delivery, PD, in order to get a lot of brightness out of it. Influencer tend to know quite a lot. Well, that may be a bit too general of a statement there. About a similar AliExpress years ago, still using it behind my TV PC. Are you talking about like the wall mount thing? Okay, all we would need for the shield would be some way to add RGB onto it. I don't know. See, I don't have RGB on any of this. That's the thing, is like, how could I not put up a Hylian shield? I'm already rocking I'm going backwards here. There we go. Link and Zelda right there. So I wanted to put it right here. But if it's going to have a PC, it's probably going to go where the Twitch sign is, right there, and be for a desk setup that's going to be right here. Which is why I put this pegboard and all these things on the wall there. It was part of that setup. This is still not the final form, guys. There's still a lot more for me to do here. GM dropping 10 bands for a video trying to learn about something and releasing it all for free. Giga Chads. Yep. Last time we listened to an expert, we had lockdown for 2 years. What's up, Cherokee Vapor? Are you sure about that? I do wish they had listened to some kind of economist expert, because they're finally backing down. Thank goodness. Barrel power bank app, an app on phone. These lights could be cool for off-grid use. Yeah, Bluetooth. Yes, does have Bluetooth. Yeah. Final form will never come. There'll always be some way to tinker and improve it. I know, but the form, though, overall, is supposed to be desk setup there. This big desk here is something that I'd probably be able to roll forward for streaming and roll back. I don't know. That desk setup might be my main streaming desk. And this one that's already back there might just stay where it is. I might just not have a setup over here and just do stuff like, I don't know, storage or something over there. We'll see. I got to be able to move around here, though. Let's not start a politic war. Oh, we're not. Making general comments. If someone dedicates their life to something and you assume that you know more than they do because you would like it to be that way, it just doesn't work. The problem is that everyone has bias, and thus we search for confirmation, called confirmation bias. We listen more closely to that which agrees with us. We pay more heed to that which speaks to our personal worldview. No getting around that. It takes a lot to step away from it. Kind of interested in them. Might be good for me to take pics of PCs I make to sell for my Java. Yeah, no, they're great lights. They really are. And the fact that they're made for video means that you're not going to be dealing with stuff like flicker. Because they have the right frequency for LED lights that won't cause flicker on standard shutter speeds, things like that. But what's up, Cherokee Vapor? Hope you're doing well. Countries divide between Republican and Democrat is just frustrating. I believe in both parties. Oh, the thing is, look. Man, here we go. They're both messing up. And it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. Nobody knows what the hell to do right now. Each side wants to be right, and the people who vote for them want them to be right so desperately that they won't acknowledge the fact that both of them are kind of screwy. Kind of just what's happening. It basically, it's just, it's an unprecedented mess. Unprecedented means, wait, there's no SOP for this. We don't have a standard operating procedure for this. So we have to understand that people, because we do put people in charge, people are flawed. People are inherently flawed. That's how people are. There is not a single person, not one person on the planet who is beyond being incorrect, beyond reproach. Everybody out there is fallible. The moment you begin to believe that a person is infallible, you've just gotten to a point where your own logic is out the window. You're just going to believe whatever they say. Don't do that to yourself. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. Because, and this is not politics, this is humanity I'm talking about. This is the human experience I'm talking about. Always have some level of skepticism, not cynicism, skepticism. A healthy level of skepticism will keep you from ever getting to the point where you're like, well, that person said it, so it's gotta dang be true. I know it. I know it now because they said it. Because that person might have said something completely different a week ago. Like on video or audio recordings that are easily searched. And this is constantly ignored, and I don't get that, but whatever. Just have a healthy level of skepticism in your life. Not overly skeptical, healthy level of skepticism. I'm being very careful with those words. Never believe that someone can do no wrong. I screw up all the time. I spent the first 20 minutes of this stream talking about how, you know what? I need to be nicer to people who fill out the form incorrectly. I need to not roast everybody who picks the wrong budget or whatever. Because that's not very welcoming. I'm supposed to be the guy you come to if you maybe were gate-kept elsewhere. And I'm not going to be doing any bullying or gatekeeping here. And I wasn't intentionally, but it might have come across that way. I was wrong to do that. And I did it for a long time. And it seemed fun and fine, but there were some people who would get upset. How did we feel about that? Oh, come on. It's just good fun. No. I realized that it wasn't good fun. It was just fun. Not good. So just understand that. There is no one out there who is never wrong. Everyone out there is wrong some point in their life. And the problem is when they start to forget that themselves and they think that they're right all the time. And that's, again, it's on both sides of the aisle. Okay? I'm not, if you're thinking to yourself like, oh man, he's attacking my part. No, I don't care. I don't. I just want us as a society, every person in this country and other countries, to understand that the people that we want to be right are not always going to be. That's all it is. That is not exclusive to red or blue. There are wrong people on every part of the spectrum. And there's some that are right. The problem is we put ourselves into beliefs without logic. So logic can't pull us out of those beliefs because we didn't arrive there with logic. We arrived there by listening to someone who says, hey, this is the truth of the world. And we're just like, oh, okay. No, like, and that is something that happens to everybody. Okay. Just be careful. Be careful with giving away your beliefs and your logic and your worldview to someone who you don't actually know or that maybe doesn't have your best interests in mind. And that, again, is a bipartisan thing. I just want to see this country be as good as it used to be. That's all I want. That is a can of worms that I hesitate to unpack. Open, I should say. There has not been a decade or generation where this country didn't screw something up or screw somebody over. The idealization of any country does not work. Because what are countries made up of? People. There was no time where any country was ever perfect, including ours. So idealizing that is dangerous because it can undo some of the good things that have happened over the decades. Because yeah, there were good things that happened over the decades. So just be careful with that. So far this year, job has been going great. Everyone needs electric cables. Cherokee Vapor, that's why it's great to have a trade. Having a trade is good. Best thing to do at this point is just do what you need to do to survive, as well as keep your physical and mental health in check. Yes, Alucard. And if everyone can take a little time to be kind to those around them, that would go such a long way. Such a long way. Just like remember that everyone around you they arrived at whatever they believe or what they say through one method or another, and just give a little bit of kindness. And if everybody does that, we're off to a good start, but it does have to start somewhere. And the only person you have any control over is yourself. You cannot force other people to be kind to you. So where does it start? Right there, buddy. Right freaking there. If you want to you can be kind spitefully. Sure. The effect is what matters. The results are what matters. I'd love to get half my FB feed to watch the GN video to educate them. I mean, people who agree with that video, it's going to be hard getting half of them to watch it because it's 3 hours long and attention spans ain't what they used to be. But hey, I like the 5 women that took a ride and called themselves astronauts. I will agree with the astronaut title because that is a hard-earned title. Especially because the future of space travel is going to be funded by tourism. So they were tourists, and that's awesome. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm jealous. I would love to go to space. I'm also terrified of it. Get back to the PC content, please. What? No one's submitting forms. I don't know what to do. I don't know what you want me to do, Alucard. I'm gonna talk about serious stuff and silly stuff. I do want to tell you guys, please be patient with me sometimes when it comes to if I say something that you heartily disagree, that you very much vehemently disagree with. Because remember, I'm putting myself out here to sort of entertain and hang out. I'm not here to educate on stuff I don't understand. I educate on PCs. I know PCs pretty well. I don't know the other stuff very well, so I'm giving general messages here. So hopefully if you strongly disagree, then we can agree to disagree, which is a totally fine thing to do. Trying to avoid any fires from starting. Can't avoid it sometimes. So I can turn back to PC stuff? Yeah, we will. Maybe we can warn them that there'll be jokes and trolling. Yeah, that's true. It's just still, I always talk about leading with kindness and then I don't practice it and I don't want to be a hypocrite anymore. How many times have I said that? A lot of times. Most in life is try to keep a healthy balance. 100%. My fellow countrymen, lend me your wallets. All right, there's nothing in it. Sure. Sometimes being neutral is the very best. Well, I mean, true. Always, approach something from a neutral standpoint. Yeah. Watch George Carlin stand up and you'll learn this country was never as great as it is in fairy tales. Well, I mean, yeah, George Carlin was around for so long and honest for so long. Although, of course, he also has a very skewed perspective. He had a very skewed perspective, too. Because everybody does. No blame to him for that. That's kind of how people be. But he had a good level of clarity, too. 100%. Not everything you think might be good to not yell out loud. I'm all in for neutralism. Yep. I watched the GN video at 1.75x speed, fell asleep after 2 hours. You made it most of the way, though. Politics is impossible to agree on, but that can be fun to lightly discuss. There are a few things I love more than when I get to sit down with someone who I respectfully disagree with. Those are the best, most illuminating conversations you can have. Good Lord. I'm never angry at someone because they're not me. How about that? Don't be mad at people for not being you. It's like the thing I say where I'd rather not be the smartest guy in the room. You ain't gonna learn nothing then. But I also don't want to be in a room full of people who agree with me all the time, 100%. It can be fun sometimes, but it's like I want dissent. I want discourse. That is the rough stone on which we hone the edge of our minds. What hot take did I miss? What's up, Jason Whitmer? How's it going? It was not much of a hot take. It was just me saying that essentially, if I was to boil it down, we all need to take a step back and not be angry with other people for just because they disagree with us, because that can actually be very helpful to have someone disagree with you. It helps you reevaluate your own position on things. Politics. Let me see. Challenge run. Get a Switch 2. If I could afford it. I'm currently trying to scrape together enough to go to Computex, and it's very much up in the air. One thing you guys got to understand was I was relying on the marketing budget of certain companies, to get me there. And with the will they, won't they tariffs thing, those marketing budgets dried up. They disappeared. Because companies were like, we don't know if we can even do business in the US. Your primary audience. Yeah. Got lucky with one at 1:30 a.m. this morning on Best Buy. I know a little video game shop near here, and I'm going to see if they can maybe help me out, because I could not afford to get it now. So, discussing with someone that agrees 100% on everything you mentioned, no discussion. Yeah, it's just an echo chamber. That's the whole thing about an echo chamber, is if you surround yourself with people that you agree with, you're never gonna grow, ever. You need friction to grow. What is better, 50-80 or 30-90? 50-80, Force. 50-80. 100%. It's also more expensive, but hey, I think politics division and house divided cannot stand. Well, okay, you also do need, that's the same thing. Is like, if you had all 100% people in Congress that just all agreed with each other, then, well, majority anyway. It can be bad. Whatever. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's always going to be majority one way or the other. And again, no politics. Not talking anymore about that. Let's go ahead and drop that one. Well, to be honest, I was just curious for gaming and stuff. I was not planning on buying one, just morbid curiosity. Yeah, no, it's 5080 is going to way outperform a 3090. I mean, you know what outperforms a 3090? A Radeon RX 7800 XT, which you can get for. Are they still? I think they stopped production on those. Let me see real quick. Go to PC part picker real quick. Go to video card. Oh, it's right there. There we go. 7800 XT. Price $599. And it outperforms the 3090 in rasterized performance. Yo, that Sakura edition is freaking dope. Look at that. Oh, man. Super sick. But damn, those prices climb real quick. Holy crap. The Merc, the XFX Merc for $916 is crazy. It's more expensive than their own magnetic fan one. Oh, by, $20, but still. Yeah, it's basically, you can get the quick. for MSRP, or you can get the Merc, which is a slight upgrade. Where was it? Right here. For $916. Yeah. Wait, is the Quick an upgrade over the Merc or vice versa? Their naming convention is stupid. I think the Swift is their basic. And that's 780. Where is this at that price? Available soon. Cool. Available soon. Cool. Available soon. Cool. In stock for $654. So $55 above MSRP. That's acceptable. That's not bad. But that beats a 3090. There you go. The thing is, it's not going to beat a 3090 in tasks that require heavy VRAM. Always important to remember that. If you need a lot of VRAM, you're going to need something that's going to have that 24 gigs. This is 16 gigs, though. 16 gigs of VRAM is really good. Even though I'm disabled, think of joining law enforcement. I heard they don't discriminate. It's something I have always wanted to do, so I figure I can study my diploma and go to the academy. Okay, yeah. Well, I wish you the best of luck with that. If that's something you choose to do. Have you heard more about mini PC with Strix Halo chips? The 40CU 16-core version. Which company gonna sell those? My main interest in that would probably be the Framework desktop. For the Secure, you can order it, but it'll ship it out in early mid-May. That's not bad. That's a couple weeks from now. Guys, we're less than a month away from Computex, and I still don't. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen. I did ask, for those who know about this, there is the Southern California Tech Fair that Jay Susent and iBuyPower and Hyde are putting on, plus some other companies, other content creators. I reached out to iBuyPower, and I was like, look, is there any way y'all can help me get out there? Just to I mean, I know Jay and I get along great, and it'd be super cool to be there with him and my other fellow content creators. And they were like, well, here's the thing. Jay was very adamant that it be about the Southern California tech community. So there might be some other content creators there, but mostly it's people who can drive to it, and they're going to be at other company booths, not sponsored by this or that. And I was like, the FOMO's already hitting. And man, if I miss Computex, that FOMO is going to be, I'm going to be like, the imposter syndrome will be irreparable at that point. I've gone once. I should never have gone to Computex because now I have to go every year. I don't want to miss it again. I'm actually looking forward to the Switch too. Me too. I love the Switch. I never got any other handheld gaming platform. So like maybe I would have preferred the Steam Deck or, you know, ROG Ally or something. But the Switch is awesome for traveling and for all that stuff. I really love it. But I love Nintendo games. If that's not clear. By the way, it is not lost to me the irony of making a Zelda-themed PC. I know. But I kind of love that. I ordered mine this morning. Can't wait. Yeah, I saw that. I just, again, every single penny that I have right now is being, I'm pinching that thing. Just like, please let me go to Taiwan. Waiting, one company basically has my whole fate in its hands right now. So we'll see what happens. One of the bigger ones, so maybe they still have the marketing budget for it. And when I get the job, I'm going to build me a high-end gaming PC, buy a nice classic car. I wish more people respected our law. I think you lost me a little bit there with the more people respected. Oh, our. Oh, you are. Okay. RX 7900 XT has 20 gigs. It does. I wonder what those are going for. Well, I mean, they were way cheaper for a while. But $829 is below MSRP. And it's not available soon. This is in stock for $859. Still below MSRP. So yeah, it was $899 when it first launched. And yes, that is a 20 gig card. But man, some of these, $2,000. That's the XTX. $2,000. Do not spend $2,000 on a 7900 XTX. Oh. You know what? We're just checking GPU stock right now. That's what we're doing. Let's see. 9070. 9070 850 for the XFX Swift. Available soon. Hellhound OC. Available soon. Sapphire Pulse. In stock. At $829. $892 rather. $892. Now, that's supposed to be a $600 GPU. That's crazy, but it does beat the 7900 XTX, I believe. Or no, it's about the same. Is Brayathorn your real name, Jason? No, it's not. It's not my real name. Is Jason Whitmer your real name? No, it was a name, basically became my gamer tag, essentially. I'll never tell. I've thought about rebranding, which might come sooner than y'all think. The plan is probably PC Gateway, because that's what my channel serves as, is the gateway for newbies to PCs. So, yeah. It's so far Bitwit and Austin Evans from what I saw. Alucard, a lot of the content creators I follow on Instagram are going. That are based in Southern California. Prowler, thank you for the tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Hope you can go to Computex. I do appreciate it. My PC was a Gateway in 1999. My first PC that I ever modified was a Gateway PC. So it has multiple layers of meaning. Yeah. Oof, I just have to buy a water heater for $900. No money for GPU. Ah, that does suck. Yeah. Find some B580s. Okay. Are they doing a benefit for LA fires? Austin and Kyle's house burned. Austin's house burned too? How did I miss that? I didn't hear about that. I mean, I know Austin burned his apartment down many years ago. Was that Austin or Kyle? It was Austin, yeah. Let's see. B580. $329 is the cheapest one. An Onyx Lumi OC. It's a nice looking card, but I've never heard of those guys. The Intel Limited Edition is $374, but let's see this white one. In stock. There you go. Intel one in stock at Amazon. The Sparkle Titan, which I know is a really nice card, is $416. Do not ever spend that much money on a B580. $329 is where you want to be for that. Austin's apartment burned years ago. Yeah, it was years ago. Didn't know he was in the LA area. Yep. The Onyx is the one that Toasty Bros praised. Nice. It's a sick looking card though. I really like the design of this. Damn, that's clean. Clean, clean, clean. Look at that. Oh. Let's see here. How's the 5060 Ti doing? 5060 Ti. In stock, $512.98. Basically, if you see a card that is at or below MSRP, it was already here. Anything coming in after initial tariffs, yeah. So, yeah. There have been some Intel Celestial leaks. Will there be some at Computex? Rurutu, if there are, they're not going to give us the name of it. Intel was super secretive about, like, say, LGA 1851 just a couple months before it actually launched. So they're pretty secretive. That was last Computex. Still my Steel Legend from when it first launched. That is the one I'll be making a PC with most likely after the stream. Cool. At that point, go for a 5070. Yeah, well, that's a problem. Is a 5070 is going to be more. Uh, 609 actually. No, yeah, that's pretty close. I would get this instead. It's 12 gigs of VRAM. Who cares? It's going to outperform a 5060 Ti. $5070 Ti starting at $899. It really sucks because if you're just in a vacuum looking at wait a minute, hold on a second. Can we just mention something? Okay, so that's $60 over MSRP. That is not bad. That is not bad. But the thing is, if you look at the lineup of GPUs from 5060 Ti that are out right now, from 5060 Ti all the way up to 5090, the best MSRP deal out of all of them is the 5070 Ti. Based on my experience with it, the performance, everything, 5070 Ti is the best deal out of all of them. At that MSRP that was on the slide at CES. But for $900, that evaporates. The more you spend, the more you save. I think it's the more you buy, the more you save. MSRP was $750, yes. Okay, yeah. But Jason, tell me what you've been up to lately. I just realized I was talking about these newer products, right? Guess where they're based out of? Shenzhen, China. I mean, they have a Pittsburgh office here, and those are the guys that I went to NAB with, and they're just genuinely cool dudes. I had such a good time hanging out at NAB. I hope that they're going to do all right. And from what I understand, there is a capitulation happening on tariffs, which is great. When it's going to happen is the question. I hope it's soon, because good Lord, man, so much of our stuff comes out of there. Get a B570 instead, says Adam Williams. What's up, Adam? How's it going? Sounds like you're almost caught up. Unless you are caught up. I'm from Canton, China. Oh, cool. Yeah, I wish I could visit some of these companies in Shenzhen. I've met so many cool people at CES that are from there, that come over for CES to showcase their products and all that. Just a ton of great innovation and manufacturing happening over there. Like 40 miles north of Shenzhen. Oh, okay. I would love to go there and just like eat all the food. Eat all the food. Checking the list real quick. Nope. We are still not having anyone submitting the form, so don't know what you guys want me to. This is just me killing time. What is tariff really doing? Could you explain it, or is it all politics and don't need to explain? Here's one thing that I think everyone needs to understand about tariffs, and this is not a discussion about current politics. This is just a basic economics discussion, okay, or talking point. For a long time, and potentially still now, for a long time, if you wanted to get a foreign-made truck, there was a heavy tariff on that. There's a reason that the Toyota Tundra, they opened a factory in Texas to build those here, right? Well, those tariffs have been around for a long time. When those tariffs first began, what already existed in the U.S.? domestic sources for that product. So tariffs exist to raise the price of foreign-made products to encourage your citizens of your country to buy domestic products made in that country. Now, to be clear, it was the complete product, the truck itself, that was tariffed. You wanted a Japanese pickup truck, it was going to cost you more. And I think it was just cars in general. There were tariffs on that. But when those tariffs were enacted, there were robust sources of vehicles available from the U.S. So if you want to encourage local manufacturing, tariffs aren't what you do. Those are what you do when there already is domestic manufacturing of a thing, and you want to point people at that. If you want there to be if you want to incentivize local manufacturing, what do you use? Incentives. You incentivize it with incentives. You get more flies with honey than vinegar, right? That's what the CHIPS Act was. It was incentivizing local manufacturing of silicon. Semiconductors and silicon. So that there were already chip fabs being built here. Already. Before any of the tariff stuff. So that's a basic thing about tariffs. Is that, oh, we're making this here, but people are buying the ones from outside that are being imported because they're cheaper. All right, we're going to tariff the ones that are coming in from outside the country, so that people are more incentivized to buy the stuff here. Because otherwise, the buyer is going to pay more for the stuff that's being imported. That's how tariffs, in a very general sense, work. If you want to encourage companies to build manufacturing here, you need to do things like incentivizing with things like tax breaks, with subsidies, okay? Because there's stuff that's going on where like labor costs more here, land costs more here. They would have to, instead of having, like, say you wanted to make motherboards here, oh my God, it would be insane. Because if you look at where motherboards are manufactured, there's over 1,000 tiny objects on a motherboard that have to be put onto there. And Asus, MSI, motherboard manufacturers don't make those things. All the little gadgets and gizmos, all the SMCs, SMDs, all that stuff is not made by the motherboard manufacturer. That's why it's like, oh, it has Wi-Fi. What kind of Wi-Fi module does it have on it? But where these are manufactured, those companies are down the street. What I'm saying is motherboards will never be made here. And if it does ever happen, it's going to be in 15 years. That's a major problem. Because you want a PC, you're going to need a motherboard. Look at RAM. Like, think about the discussion around, let's say, DDR4. Oh, man, I want to get that, let me get that G-Skill RAM, because, you know, it's got those that Samsung B die. Wait, whoa, back up. The G-Skill RAM has the Samsung B die? Huh? Oh, that SSD has this kind of controller, but that's a different company name. All of these PC parts, you're not just getting... This thing is not 100% NVIDIA. As a matter of fact, the main thing in here is made by TSMC, not NVIDIA. And all this aluminum around it, the fans, the motors for the fans, all of that, made by other companies. So when I was saying vehicle tariffs, right? And I was saying it was a complete product that was tariffed. Because say, when Detroit used to be a major manufacturing place for domestic vehicles, right? Didn't make all the parts for the vehicles there. And now all of that stuff's getting tariffed. So there's manufacturing in the US, and they are suffering right now because where do they get the parts that they put together to make the end product? A lot of it is imported, man. Like the fabs, right? Prowler, you're saying, so fabs you can put anywhere. Yes. Where are they going to get their raw materials? The US is not a major source of rare earth materials, rare earth metals. Do you know what the #1 source for rare earth metals for the entire world is? Like, not just the US, the entire world. The #1 source is China. That's not new. They're the biggest they're huge. And they also have a massive industry for mining rare earth metals. So that's one of their primary exports. We can't suddenly just spawn rare earth metals in our country. That is way smaller than theirs, by the way. So there's naturally going to be less anyway. Rare earth metals are what go into all of these things. All of the things need rare earth metals to work. So if you want to support local manufacturing, charging them 150% more for all of their raw materials is cuckoo. It is bunk, because it is going to kill manufacturing here. Tens of thousands of people will lose their jobs as companies have to downscale. Prices skyrocket. That's how that happens. That's how that works. Sucks, don't it? But that's the reality of it. That's just a basic, very, very surface level economics lesson for you right there. Now, some of y'all might be there like, I'm going to leave the stream. He's talking about politics again. I'm not talking about politics. I don't care about politics. I don't. This is affecting you and my job, where it's like everyone's having to raise their prices. I talk about the cost of things and the price of things as my job. So it sucks. I've been thinking like, am I going to be able to continue doing this? Yeah, this is Rarutu, right on the money. He's talking about supply chain. The way that the modern world works, we cannot exist without the resources from other countries. We cannot do that. We can't do that. To say otherwise is putting on display, putting a big old spotlight on your lack of understanding of the supply chain. And not understanding that stuff is okay. You don't need to understand that stuff to get by every day. But if that's something that you're not familiar with, don't pretend you are, because it could lead to a lot of trouble. Well, I mean, more if you make decisions for everybody. I'm just saying that we have built up this supply chain for decade upon decade upon decade upon decade upon decade. And we're the richest country in the world. We buy from everybody. And we don't sell to everybody, but we buy from every part, every corner of the world for our first world lifestyles that we have. So looking at that and being like, yeah, well, why don't they buy as much from us? They're not as wealthy of a country. Like, they exist because, and in fact, there a lot of smaller economies exist upon their exports, upon what they make from us buying a bunch of stuff from them. They can't afford to buy stuff from us. I don't know. I guess I'm a little frustrated with it, and maybe that's obvious. But, you know, I've had these conversations. I've had some of these conversations with people who know better than I do. And I do my best to be like, you know better than I do. Tell me more about this, please. I need to understand. There was on the tariff video, there was a great comment. And I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. But hey, listen, at least you guys got the rant that you're supposed to get every stream. Here we go. They also donated, I don't know what HK is money-wise, but they donated 100 of those. I've been getting screwed by Gamers Nexus for too long. There's a massive view deficit where I've watched way more of his videos than he mine. I hereby, under emergency powers, am enacting a $100 tariff to fix this imbalance. And yes, they paid $100. So that's such a good summary of that mood, okay? Hong Kong dollars. There you go. Oh, Raruchi mentioned earlier, China processes like 90% of the Earth's planet's rare earth materials. Yeah, and it's not even about them mining all of it there. Processing too. But yes. Oh yeah, fabs take forever to build. I realized I kind of got the bit in my teeth there and I was just going and going and going. Okay, no, China gets lots of raw materials from other countries. Okay, isn't that because most tech raw material come from China? Yeah. So I was a little even then I was a little off base with my understanding. But the fact is they are still the source for us. That's what matters. There are things that, let's say, China will not let in their market. Well, yeah. Global trade systems need to work. Yes. You should take out a MOBO and show all the tiny parts that has to be made with in the millions for pennies each. I don't just have a motherboard lying around, or I would do that. I can just show a picture of that if I would like to do that. It's all forms frustrating for sure. Hopefully things will move in a better direction. I'm just super skeptical to near pessimistic at this point. It's supposed to be moving in a better direction. We just don't have a timeline, which I think would really help. Fabs do take forever and will be longer due to the increased cost of metals and materials, and we need to build the things we need. Another thing is the cost of labor. So it is expensive to live in the U.S. There is zero denying that. It's expensive to live here, which is one reason why we demand higher pay. When I was like in Taiwan, I was like, yo, everything, like, stuff is so cheap here. And yes, that's from the perspective of having American dollars. Okay. Yeah. But in general, stuff, it's pretty affordable to live there. The cost of living is lower. Pay can be lower, yet you can still be a skilled laborer. So skilled labor costs more here. That's why I was saying subsidies. Also electronics, mostly televisions, not to mention the power to make the products. It cost my company $400,000 per month just in electricity, which we imported. We used to import power from Canada, and they're just like, nope, click. Most of the tech we get actually comes from Taiwan. Now, I will say a lot of design is done there, and yes, a lot of manufacturing. But there are a lot of companies there that will be like Asus, based in Taiwan, manufactures a lot of stuff in China. Peter, thank you for the 100 biddies. I appreciate that. Have a good night. Thank you for hanging out. Like, look, I want y'all to understand real quick. If talking about this stuff makes you uncomfortable, I do apologize for the discomfort. I don't apologize for talking about the stuff, though, because we got to talk about it. Like, there's been too much ignorance around it. We got to have this discussion. Like the fact that what Raruchu's bringing up, where it's like, oh, they're not just like mining all the raw materials there. They process them there. And we don't have the facilities to process that stuff here for rare earth materials and minerals and metals. But Taiwanese manufacturing is still final assembly. They still use a lot of small parts made in China. That, yes, absolutely. But there are some things that have final assembly in China as well. Also, a lot of cases. Case manufacturing, a lot of it's centralized in China. Chinese EV cars may be one of the best ones. Dude, I've been watching. What's the name of the channel? This guy who's like, he goes through tours of cars in 60 seconds. It's really cool. Every time I see a Chinese EV, I'm like, yo, what are they doing over there? It's super cool. I can't imagine, and the prices are so much lower until, of course, they arrive here, and then they're going to be higher. But yeah, Robert, back in the room. What's up? Well, welcome back. Baidu is one. There's so many. Honkai, right? It does not make me uncomfortable. I just can't type fast enough to get my view across. I understand that I do have the bias here when it comes the benefit of being able to just yap. I still probably, my mouth, it can't always keep up in my brain, or sometimes it's the other way around. But yeah. Is a 7800 XT still a popular GPU? Says Matthew and A. What's up, Matthew? How's it going? Yeah. We were just talking about earlier, out of curiosity, the Force was asking about, Force Gaming Network was asking about whether the 5080 is better than the 3090. And I was like, yeah, the 7800 XT is more powerful than the 3090. And I did find one for $599. So yeah, still a popular GPU, and it's a badass GPU. It is. It's really powerful. Baidu is like China's Google. Cool. Rurutu, thank you for providing the context for a lot of this. I appreciate that. You should bring that to the table more often. I like that. This is just a question. I really don't know the answer to that. I believe it to be true, but not sure. Go ahead. Look what I ran into in the comments. I was just scrolling a little bit. Right here. This is what people mean when they say everything is political. You can't just run away from it because it makes you uncomfortable. And sadly, you know what? We're dropping a like on that. Sadly, it is true. It is true. Yeah, Cherokee Vapor, you were mentioning the astronauts thing. You need to watch this Josh Johnson thing. I watched it on my other account, so it doesn't show as watched here, but Josh Johnson is great. Dude's so funny. Just got here, just watched the NFL draft. I'm pretty tired. I saw SFan talking about, they were doing apparently a really big production on watching that live and reporting on it. I had to get either, I'd probably pick a Polestar because it's basically a Volvo. What is... Hold on. I'm looking at something really quick. There is a new electric truck that I would actually consider. And it's this, the Tello. What is the model? It's just Tello. It looks kind of crazy. I know. Right here, we'll zoom in a bit. I know it looks kind of crazy. And there's a closed bed version, I guess, like an SUV kind of style. But this is a 5-foot bed where there's like a back gate here or whatever that can fold down that gives you an 8-foot bed, and this thing's the size of a sedan, and has 500 horsepower, and has the gear tunnel and everything. Like, but anyways, it's just really cool. Yeah, it's the size of a Mini Cooper. Excuse me. Yeah, has a larger bed than the Rivian R1T. Or Toyota Tacoma, or it's the same size as Toyota Tacoma, and the back seats can fold down forward and give you like a couple more feet of bed. It's crazy. And I like quirky looking vehicles, so it's right up my alley. This is still not out yet, but I think that's probably, like, I could definitely go for something like that. It sounds like fun to drive. 500 horsepower and something the size of a Mini Cooper is crazy. Okay. Anyway, that's what I have my eye on. I like small pickup trucks, so I'm not a big. I mean, I'm born and raised in Texas. I hate big trucks. They drive me crazy because I have to be around them all the time, and they think they own the road. In like 80% of people who drive a big pickup truck think they own the road in Texas. And there's a lot of them. Rivians are cool, but bigger than I would want. I've always liked small cars. I've just always been that way. I do like muscle cars too, though. Don't get me wrong. Xiaomi, Huawei, that were phone companies now making EVs in China. I mean, it's apparently a massive industry there. Cybervan's a thing. Oh, yeah. I guess I wouldn't mind the closed bed one because, like, whenever I think of like, oh, I want to head up to Austin to go tour Starforge or whatever, I think like I might pack some pretty big gear, and I wouldn't necessarily want it to just be in an open bed like that. What's the cost of that electric truck? I don't know. They're looking at starting it at 41,000 for a single motor standard range version. The dual motor, 46,000, and a long range battery upgrade adds 3,980 to the price, 3,980. So accessible. For some, for most, probably. I don't know if I would do the dual motor version at that point, because even the single motor version is still going to be like what, like 250, 300 horsepower. Yeah, and it's not bad. But Cherokee Vapor, thank you for asking. So because I did not know. Like with the features that it has, you'd think like, oh, $60,000. Nope. American car companies stop making light trucks because fuel efficiency. It's hard for them to design the efficiency and power for the weight. So now most trucks are mid-sized trucks. Yep. I watched. Did you watch the donut video on why trucks have gotten so much bigger? Install solars on the bed. See, Fowler, I would think the one that is not the pickup truck, but rather the SUV style, you could put the whole roof as they have glass though, but I mean you can put the whole roof as solar panels. The problem with solar panels is that although there have been improvements in the technology, their efficiency is not great in how much actual electricity is stored per square foot. So solar panel technology, I mean, there's like multi-layered things like that. That's the kind you would need, and it would be the more expensive kind of solar panels to get it to actually work. But if you look at something like the Nissan Leaf, at least the Japanese version of the Nissan Leaf, which has been around for a long time at this point, had solar panels on the roof so that if you were just a salary man working in Japan, you wanted to take your lunch break and take a nap in your car, you can run your AC based off of just the solar panel's power. That's just a practical use right there. Not to charge the thing up completely or anything. You still need mains for that. But just to do things like running your AC while you're sitting in there. My new channel will just be cars, so it'll be fun. Oh, that sounds cool. Yeah, I mean, it's funny that I think people don't realize, who are not tech people or car people, don't realize how much overlap there is in the Venn diagram where you've got tech nerds and car nerds. The overlap is insane. Most tech content creators I know are also car nerds. And most IT people I knew got into cars too. But I mean, whether they got into it with their wallets or not was a different story. But the enthusiasm could still be there. If you like tech, you like tech, and cars are tech of a kind. So definitely, it's very similar. I wonder if I should just start gaming. Would you guys just want to play some video games? I don't know. This is one of those streams where it's like, sorry, YouTube, I helped one person. But we did talk about important stuff. There's a U.S. company that makes solar panels for electric cars. It can do a slow level charge, level 1. It's funny how Lux, whenever you speak up, because you are a self-proclaimed lurker, I pay attention more because it's like, yo, this was important enough for Lux to come out and say something. But yeah, that's cool that they make purpose-built solar panels for electric cars. That is very cool. I mean, I like the idea of solar panels getting to the point. I mean, a combination of purpose-built solar panels and regenerative braking can really alter what we know about range. My thing is this. I already have battery anxiety because of my phone. I can't imagine how I would be if I had an electric car with battery anxiety, especially going on a road trip. I would just be, because I've seen videos where people are like, we're going to get as far as we can with this. Oh man, we're getting down to 3% and we're still 5 miles away from the charging station. I'm just like, I can't handle this emotionally. It's scary stuff. If you're in person, you'll have to see if I'm really Silent Bob or more like Kevin Smith. Wow, what a dichotomy there, right? Not dichotomy, that's the wrong word. But the duality of man. How about that? I'm not silent, but I play that on TV. Because Kevin Smith, don't shut up. He's like me. We don't have infrastructure for full EV. Best to get hybrid for another 8 years. That or make better solar. Infrastructure has come a very, very long way, and we do largely have Tesla to thank for that. But not even opening up that can of worms. The issue with EV long planned trips is not battery, but instead big waiting lines at the charging station. When I do road trips, I do like to take long breaks and stretch my legs and stuff. But I also can go for just a really long time. But yeah, no, I mean, charging stations in city charging stations are supposed to be not that bad, but like the ones out in the middle of nowhere during heavy travel times, it supposedly can get pretty crazy. Well, all right. How much time do we have? 45 minutes. Wow, it's a popular night for streaming. Jeez. Because if you have a Tesla or anything long-range EV, you can easily plan your charging stops. Oh, yeah. Yeah. What's up, John Paul Bacon? How's it going? Hold on a second. Look at this. So out of curiosity, because I had the Google search still up, it showed the reserve page for the Tello truck. It's a $152 reservation, and that references the overall length of the truck, which is 152 inches. Same length as a two-door Mini Cooper, 4 feet shorter than any other pickup truck on the U.S. market today. That's crazy. But apparently, $34,020 for the 260-mile, 300-horsepower single-motor version. Oh, it's because a $7,500 federal tax credit. Or yeah, okay, so it is the right price on Google. I was like, that's a big difference. And then configure. Dual motor, yeah, all right. Long range, yep. That makes it... Why can't they just have a purple? Yo, that's a sick color, though. It is a weird looking truck, but I kind of like it. Okay, what's with the fabric on the dashboard? I feel like that would get dingy. Whatever. The wheels are kind of crazy. That's, yeah. Tonneau cover. Solar cab roof. Solar tonneau cover. Hey! Fowler, I should have just looked, but yeah, they have it. Roof and tonneau cover. This is just a camper shell, so there's no version that's like an SUV. And there's a solar top for that. You can, it's just like anything else. You can like, so with that, 50 grand. It gets up there. That's the long range and 4-wheel drive. Yeah, man, they did it. So the good, if you get the solar panels for the front and back, that means that you could, at least while you're waiting for those long lines in the EV in the charging stations, just leave your AC running. Doing well. Just finished watching the NFL draft. You too, huh? I mean, not me. I didn't. Someone else did. Matthew said that they were. Does anything beat the Tesla Cybertruck for weird looking? I would say no. I will unabashedly say that I liked it initially. It's just unfortunate with like panels peeling off and all of that stuff. You're configuring cars for people now? Wow, this channel has really changed, Bray. What's up, Falcon Northwest? Well, as you can imagine, well, I was just looking at the Tello truck. This thing it's pretty sick. If you haven't seen anything about this. But as you can imagine, with things as they are, there's not a lot of people clamoring to spend money on luxury goods like a gaming PC. So there's not been a lot of requests for help. But I have at least been able to help 1 or 2 people per stream. But how are you doing? I like the Cybertruck concept, but it's an alpha test. Lots of problems. That's probably a good way to look at it. Quirky EV look cool. True. The problem is no purple. Have to get a wrap, I guess. But no, I like this thing. I think it's pretty cool. Same length as a 2-door Mini Cooper with a potential 8-foot truck bed in it, which is crazy. Not 8 feet. No, it must be 7 or something. I don't know. Whatever. Don't listen to me. I don't know anything about this. I know nothing. What do I know? Nothing. That's what. So just putting that out there. If anyone does want help, now is the time. I'm not helping anybody right now. Jane Hat shirt, love it. Oh yeah. Well, see, it's a double reference because it's also a Zelda reference. So
It's double nerdy. Love it. Have you seen the EV Land Rovers that can turn each wheel moto different? Yeah, tank turns. Yeah. There's multiple vehicles that do that now, which is really cool. It's called a tank turn. And I think it's awfully cool that they can do that. I didn't say tank tread, Alucard. It's a tank turn. It's a kind of turn where you turn in place. It's okay. I did see a Cybertruck where they put tank treads on it, but they were like individual tank treaded wheels. It didn't go well. It did not go well. Can't stop messing with this thing. It's so cool. I should have a YouTube short coming out here in a bit from NAB, by the way, where I do a tour of the newer booth and talk about some of the cool stuff. This is just one of them. G-Wagon EV can spin in place. Also true. I think they had that at CES 2024. I think they were showcasing that. Or was it 20? It was 2024. Oh, I think I have to do that. Okay. Best pre-built with a 4080 or 5080. Hello, Bob. Welcome to the stream. You have great timing. Because I'm not currently helping somebody one-on-one. So, I will tell you this, though. I don't just answer really basic questions like that with advice because I don't know enough to give you good advice. But check the description. And the first thing in the description is a link to the thing you got to fill out to have me help you out. It's all absolutely free. But click the link in the description, fill out the form, and I can give you actual advice. Because best is subjective. Mercedes have kind anuts inventions at the anti-stuck jumping. What? 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 What are you talking about? You don't just smile at me. It's okay. I think you said earlier you were on mobile or something. I don't know. Okay, someone did. Yeah, I remember when I had my first beer. Uh-huh. Yeah. But yeah, Bob, just fill out that form, link in the description. As soon as I see it come through here, I will help you out because we helped somebody earlier, but we've only been able to help one person. There's one thing I was talking about this, how there's not a lot of people who are buying PCs right now with things going as they are. So they have anti-stuck. Their shocks go up and down rapidly. Got it. I think I saw something where the streamer iShowSpeed was in China looking at a Chinese EV that does that, and he was like freaking out about it. Pretty cool. It's just like I tend to collect things in my vehicle, just knickknacks, or I'll have stuff there or whatever, and it's like I can just imagine all of it just bouncing around because you wanted to show off to your friends. I don't know about that. Oh, to get grip. Oh, okay. Interesting. I thought you were talking about like the jump thing, because there's some that will literally do a jump and get their all four wheels off the ground. Shad Sanders didn't get drafted in round 1. Biggest surprise of the draft so far. Are you kidding me? Who is that? John, I'm sorry. I didn't grow up with sports in the household. Didn't have any influences around me or any friends who were really into sports, so I never got into it myself. So guys, we might have someone to help out if Bob's going to fill out the form. We'll be ready to go. Dion Sander. I'm gonna tell you right now, John, I'm not gonna know who it is. I don't follow sports, unfortunately. You're a good actor, Bray. I believe that's a prize for a second. Thank you. Dion Sanders' kid. Okay. Well, that's just a sign of a lack of nepotism. There you go. Good job, sports. This is so weird. It rarely is the case that Twitch chat, the number of Twitch chatters and the number of YouTube chatters I have is the same, but they both went from 22 to 21. So weird. I do get it though, because there's just, again, not a lot of interest in PCs right now. Probably hear a little bit about it tomorrow over the upcoming week, since a lot of the engineers on my team are sports nerds. Well, there you go. One thing you can bring up, Alucard, is to be like, I can't believe Shad Sanders didn't get drafted in round 1. And then walk away. Walk away from that situation. You might get questions or something, and we cannot have that. You're welcome. Well, thank John, though, not me. All right, we got a form here. Let's see here. So to expand on that a little bit, Bob, the reason that I was saying that I need more information, as you can see, you've just provided me with a lot more helpful info as to what I should possibly recommend to you. I now know that you're more interested in price to performance. I know what your budget is, because here's the thing. If you ask someone for a recommendation on a product, the very least information you should give them is how much money you have to spend. Because it would be very easy for me to take you to a boutique builder and find you a $5,000 PC with a 5080 in it, rather than trying to maximize GPU and you're just gaming with this. You don't need a ton of storage, or, well, storage can be helpful a little bit, but tons of RAM, stuff like that. You're going for 4K gaming. I know that now. So we don't need to go for a crazy CPU, but we can because your budget is $3,000 to $3,500. Now, let me ask you to give me a little bit more detail on this. This is normal. I do this for everybody. What is the actual maximum dollar amount that you're willing to spend on your PC? Not a range, like 3,000, 3,500. That's just for my charts and stuff, and just gives me an idea, but a solid number. What are you looking at there? The actual maximum number. Price to performance. You're expecting it within a month after you order. You're going to order within a month. Okay. You want it in black. You don't want RGB. You don't care about upgrading your CPU down the line. So, Bob, what is that number? The actual maximum budget for your PC? The way these things come together is just so satisfying. I got a tiny megaphone.
Hey, You there in the back, I see you lurking. Thank you for the lurk.
That's not an actual megaphone vocal effect, but I know that that is an option. I could have gone in and changed it, I guess. 3,500. All right, cool. I will say doing the spreadsheet has been super helpful. Before I did this without a spreadsheet, can y'all imagine that? Where people would have to just put all their answers in chat. Alucard remembers. It was crazy. But I had, actually it was Kelly who came in here earlier from Mini Katana, actually, who came back, was like, hey, I lost my link. And I was like, able to just open up the form, grab it, and provide it to them. So yeah, it is helpful. Now, if we're looking at this, 3,500, 4K gaming, no RGB. Let's try here first. Because they did specify price to performance being the priority. Might do some GPU mining on it also. Okay. English is not what I'm best at. Well, you're doing great, by the way. I'll probably hear. Oh, okay, right. Already answered that. Okay. So you want it in black. You want no RGB. Let's look at the cases first. Okay, not a lot of non-RGB options here. The NTEC performance could be okay. One thing I will... Oh, there's also the NTEC Flux and wood in black. That does come... Doesn't that come with some RGB fans? No, apparently not. I hope... How do you feel about the black and wood aesthetic? I don't think they have a cooler that doesn't have RGB, though. But the cool thing about RGB is that you can just turn it off. Indifferent on RGB. Okay. How do you feel about the black and wood look, though? Wow, they're getting hit hard. Not important to you. Got it. This is over budget. So... Actually, hold on, chat. Let me check something real quick. I know this sounds crazy. I'm just gonna look at something real quick. Gaming PCs, AMD gaming desktops. $36.98 with a 5080 from Alexander PCs with a lifetime warranty. Huh. And it's cheaper. 1300 watt. Okay, there's got to be a different option here. Hold on. Don't need 1300 watts. No 5080 available here. Okay. Okay. We're cooking. Hold up. 2 terabyte drive. 3408. I know this has a lot of RGB. More importantly, this thing has a 5080 and you don't need a 7800X 3D. You don't need that powerful of a CPU for gaming. You don't. But because you're gaming at 4K, the CPU becomes less important. But it's in there. 2 terabytes of very fast storage, 32 gigs of DDR5 6000. This is all Corsair stuff. I know you're indifferent to the aesthetics and to the RGB. I do get that. But looking at this, it looks like right now on NVIDIA cards, Skytech is getting like crushed. What we're going to do, instead of looking at custom though, so you have an option right here with the Spartan to go with something that is lifetime warranted, shipping included, 3408 before my discount of $50 off. Just to be thorough though, we're going to look at just Skytech's pre-configured systems that might get you better deals on some of their stuff. Forever price low to high. Wait for that to load. Shuffle the price up some. GPU mining died when Ethereum moved away from proof of work. I mean, not completely, but yeah, it's just the popularity of it died down. Okay, there's much better deals in their pre-configured systems. Okay, all right. That did not make sense to be looking at $3,600 just because of 5080. The 5080 in the custom builder was showing $1,900 higher than a 4060. That is crazy. And it didn't matter which model it was all of them. I mean, how are you going to beat this? 9800X 3D. 2 terabytes Gen 4 storage, 5080, 32 gigs DDR5 6000. And I know it's got a lot of glass, got a lot of RGB, but you can turn off the RGB. If you're indifferent to it, then it's just as fine to have a lot, if not. 36 PC is still here. Maybe we should look at his site too. We could look at a third system. Actually, hold up a second. Let me look at something real quick. Give me a second. I do wish I'd read that a little sooner, but that's on me. No, that's going to be not appropriate for this. Never mind. He was talking to me about a ready to ship he was doing. Well, we can take a quick look. What did I do? Yeah, no. It doesn't look like it's going to be an option there. 5070 Ti is the highest that's going to be within budget over there. So I say this is probably your best bet. And plus 2 terabytes of storage right off the bat. I'm not a big fan of 850 watts for a 5080 system. Let's see if there's one here that has a little bit beefier of a power supply. See what else is improved here. 64 gigs of DDR5. You don't need that. And still 850 watts? Nah. What's up? I mean, 850 is above the minimum recommended power supply for a 5080. It'll do the job. Getting that shirt. Thank you, Outlaw. Appreciate it. How's it going? So there's this guy here. Okay, for 3109.99 before my discount. Or you can go with a more boutique build from one of the most respected SIs in our community, Alexander PCs. It comes with a lifetime parts and labor warranty, and shipping is included in the price, plus custom cables of your choice in the color of your choice. And this thing is with the upgrades I did up to the 5080 and the 2 terabytes of storage, $34.08 before the $50 discount I get. On the Spartan is a quality much higher. You're going to get some things that are going to be better. You're getting a higher wattage power supply, Corsair 1000 watt 80 plus gold rated fully modular power supply. You're getting a better motherboard in this one here, which is the MSI MAG X670E Tomahawk Wi-Fi, whereas this one is going to be a B650, which is a more entry-level motherboard, less I/O, less power delivery, all that kind of stuff. Now this has a 9800X 3D. Now the gaming, this one over here, the Alexander PCs one, has a 7800X 3D. What will the difference be for you in 4K gaming? Imperceptible. You will not be able to tell the difference between the two. When it comes to 1080p gaming, the 9800X 3D will outperform the 7800X 3D. Not by a lot, but it'll outperform it. When it comes to 4K gaming, you should not care, because it's still one of the top gaming CPUs on the market, but that really matters for lower resolutions, not higher resolution. You're probably getting a better drive. This is a Kingston KC3000, whereas the drive on for Skytech, it just says 2 terabyte NVMe Gen 4. That could be something like a Kingston NV3. No onboard DRAM cache, things like that. It's still fine, still okay, still good, but not as good as a KC3000, which is, yeah. I may want to upgrade the GPU in a few years. Is one better? Yeah, the one with the 1000 watt power supply, because you never know what direction things are going to go in for GPU power requirements. Having an extra 250 watts could mean the difference between having to upgrade your GPU and not PSU and not having to upgrade your power supply. So yeah, if those are your concerns, go with the Alexander PC system. You will get $50 off. So from $34.08, you get $50 off. Shipping is included in the price, and you also get to choose a color of custom cables that you get. So there you go. Also, you'll also want to choose the 2 terabytes of storage. I wouldn't go with just 1 terabyte of storage in a $3,400 system. What about the Prism 4 on Skytech for $36.09 before your discount? It's black and wood. They said not that they're against RGB, just that they're indifferent to it. If they were against RGB, I would find them a build that had 0 RGB. Bob, no problem. If you have any curiosity as to how Alexander PCs is seen in our community by the people in our community who have actually bought from them, go to the description of the stream and click on the Discord there. Go to our Discord. and look under SI Testimonials, find the Alexander PCs channel. You will find dozens of people who have actually bought from Alexander PCs sharing their experience. And it's crazy because it's one of the only companies there that has 100% positive feedback. One click, RGB off. Exactly. Yeah, when it comes to like that feeling, right? As someone who says words that cause people to spend their hard-earned dollars. There are some times where it's like, this is a pretty good company. They have like 90% good feedback. You should be totally fine. There's a level of like, I guess something could go wrong at some point, or maybe they could have a bad interaction. I don't know. I can't be certain. With Alexander PCs, I don't have that worry. And that's from time. So much time has passed where they've consistently taken care of every single community member who has bought from them, where I'm like, I ain't worried. They got you. I'm just glad I got to help out somebody else. I'm glad I didn't call it quits early or anything like that, because that meant I got to help somebody. Okay, so quick question for you guys. Who was here when was it? Was it last stream or the one before that? Where we raided my buddy Emmett, who was eating in Vegas. At a K-barbecue all-you-can-eat place. Who was here for that? Two streams ago, right. Well, as it turns out, what's up, Araxnus? How's it going? As it turns out, my buddy Duty Beard is doing the same and having a current subathon, an IRL subathon stream, and they're currently eating in Vegas. So, like, why wouldn't I do that? Let's go bring in some hype for the subathon, because he's currently at 24 hours and 5 minutes of streaming. Straight. So join me for that, if you will, chat, please. Let's do that. Let's go and say hi to my buddy Duty Beard. And it'll be fun. Let's eat. Indeed. All right, chat. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I know we broached on some, less than comfortable topics over this stream, but y'all stuck with me on it, and I definitely appreciate you for that. We'll be back streaming on Sunday again. I might have another stream that will come up maybe Saturday. Maybe. Stay tuned. Just in case. But that's going to be it for this evening. Thank you all so much for hanging out. We're going to be raiding my buddy Duty Beard. So come with me, share a kind word or two. Mukbangs used to be kind of common on Twitch. Kind of forgot about that. Yep. Well, they're bringing it back, I guess. I don't want to be hungry at this hour. Sorry, Alucard. You can lurk then. But it's a little raid. I appreciate everybody that goes with me and says something nice. Outlaw of Torn, you help a lot of people. Much appreciated. I appreciate you. Thank you. But I'll catch you all in the next one. See you at the latest on Sunday evening for some gaming. And until then, take care.
Let's go, nerds!
So we're officially going to go on a little breaky poo. Because honestly, the ride home, I might be a little tired. I might be falling asleep. So I'm going to go on that screen. You guys can play Coin Pusher. Hey,